The Drew Yari Show begins now. The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Wednesday, 9:31, a minute late, Central Time here in San Antonio. Welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Yari. Here with me is RJ. Show, what's up, RJ?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Like I was mentioning earlier, like I told you, Kev is not here tonight. Kev is on assignment. He is covering the war. I don't know which war he's covering. The war. Kev couldn't show up tonight. There's actually a big snowstorm going on in New York.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to anyone living in New York. You know, well, the people we know, of course. You know, Kevin, Trez,
Kevin, Monty.
Yeah, Monty, of course. Yes, Monty, Julian, Ruben Prime, guys like those. You know, stay safe. And Sasha Baron Corbin in the chat room. Stay safe, man.
One of my and a couple of my personal best friends, Deuce and Tia, they're up there too. So yeah, oof, yeah, it's and I've got a lot of videos of snow, and a lot of things shown to me already.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, you know, Texas, we just get like cold weather at best. I mean, it doesn't really snow too much in the South. You know, South Texas. I'm gonna turn. I think that squeaking problem is the fucking that I have the screen share open. Let me close this thing. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna turn this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the last time it actually snowed here in San Antonio was 3 years ago, and it just happened, and then the very next day, it just like poof, it just melted. So that's really about it. Overall, we got this cold weather, and we just got a cold front, which we enjoy. But San Antonio weather's kind of bipolar, because we'll get a cold front, and then it'll go back to being warm in December. We'll have 80-degree weather in December.
Yeah, that's the same thing with South Carolina. I think it's a southern thing because it's like that here too. Like one day it'd be cold, the next day it'd be hot. That's why people be so sick around here, you know, and people be coughing their lungs out, and I'm like, yo, stay away from me, man. I ain't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because the weather's so bipolar, you know. I don't know where though.
Are you playing with change? I hear like some rattling in the background.
Nope.
Really? I don't know, because when you're talking, like I hear this noise. It sounds like there's like change rattling around. I don't know if it's like a static thing or.
I don't think so. Well, there's change in my pocket, but it's not. My pockets are very tight, so it's not loose. Yeah, I don't know.
No, this show's already going off the rails. I'm playing, but
God damn it!
God damn it!
I'm gonna be demoted, y'all.
Yeah, you're going to be from recurring character to just guy number 5.
Ah, shit! Damn it! God.
But yeah, before we get into wrestling, let's do some like non-wrestling talk. So, did you I think you talked about it on your show already. So, like the Disney investors call that was last week.
Right.
So far, actually, let me just pull up the information. I already have it up right here. Disney had their investors meeting last week, which they just announced literally everything that they own under the sun. New TV shows, new movies, blah, blah, blah. Everything ranging from Marvel, what you can call it, Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar and their other properties. They own FX. Let's get to... You want to start with Marvel or Star Wars?
Well, you can go ahead and go through Star Wars because I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so you might as well just go ahead and get that get that out of the way.
Well, I mean, I'm not really either. My girl's kind of the bigger Star Wars fan, but for the other Star Wars fans, we'll get that out of the way. Come on, what the fuck is this thing? Okay, here we go. Let's see. They announced there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which they already announced a while back. Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader.
That's very interesting, and I like that because I was wondering for a long time where the hell that guy disappeared to. Because he did those movies. He did the Jumper, right? Where he had powers and Samuel L. Jackson was hunting them down. And then he did Takers, and then after that, he just disappeared off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. So it's good to hear that he's working again, or he's going to be working again.
Yeah, Takers was actually a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I did. I liked it too.
Let's see, and it's Star Wars. They like to Star Wars and Marvel. They like to retcon a lot of things, so they'll find a way to bring him back somehow, or it'll probably be in a different storyline. Or universe, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, which is pretty big for a lot of fans. I've been watching The Mandalorian, and I like it, and it's a good show. It's probably the most least Star Wars show or Star Wars thing that you could watch because you're watching it. It doesn't seem like a Star Wars show. It's more like a Western, like an old school kind of gritty, badass Western. Mm-hmm. So it's a good show. You don't even have to be a big Star Wars fan to enjoy it. So if you have time, at least watch the first episode. So yeah, her character showed up in one of the recent episodes, and. Again, I didn't know anything about her because she became a fan favorite on one of the cartoons, which I think was Clone Wars, and everybody just made a big deal about it. Rosario Dawson played the character, and I love Rosario Dawson. Anything she seems like the coolest chick in the world that would hang out with me.
She does. Yes, she does.
So yeah, she was in Clerks 2, and she had to act like she found Randall attractive. So, and it was believable.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, she's good. I love her, and you took everything that I was going to say. She's mad cool, and I'd never heard anybody say a bad thing about her. So and she's definitely good, and it's the reason why Marvel had her on all those Netflix TV shows. She was the bridge that helped piece all the shows together,
Yeah, and she was also the one to deliver the line, "Hey, I know a lawyer."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she definitely did all that, So it's she's definitely top tier as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, she's going to be starring in the series as the main character. So I mean that's pretty cool. Let's see, a show called Andor, The Bad Batch. Star Wars Visions, Lando, which is going to be a show about Lando Calrissian. It's not definite as to if Donald Glover is going to play the character. But yeah, they just pretty much announced everything. There's no casting or anything announced. The Acolyte and a Droid Story. Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame is going to direct a movie, which is called Rogue Squadron. Which is, it's it's pretty cool if you're a Star Wars fan. Patty Jenkins, directing.
She definitely had a great groundbreaking directorial performance, with Wonder Woman. So it's good to see that she's going to be handling, some of this bulk of responsibility here to help deliver something to the Star Wars fans. So
Okay,
that's definitely cool to see.
RJ, can you do me a favor? Would you mind disconnecting and connecting? Because that noise is a little distracting.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know what that noise is. Yellow.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's this creaky seat I'm sitting in right now or what, but
Yeah, the noise is back. Fuck. All right, we'll just make the most of it. Yeah, Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman director. I mean, it might be cool, so I don't know. And let's see. That's all the Star Wars stuff. So let's get to Marvel.
right. The real meat and potatoes of this shit.
All right, so I'm just reading in order. So they announced a Secret Invasion series starring Samuel Jackson and the actor who played Talos from Captain Marvel, which
Okay, that should be fun.
Which they were kind of teasing at the end of Far From Home, where if spoilers, anyone didn't see Far From Home, is Nick Fury was actually Talos in disguise, because Talos is one of the Kree. Or no, not Kree. Skrull. I'm sorry, Skrull. And and Skrulls are pretty much they can shape shift. They can do anything they want. Mm-hmm. So that teased a Secret Invasion, which is something they had been talking about for a while. And for anyone that doesn't know, the Disney Plus series, they're going to link to the movies, not like the Netflix series. Like these are under the Disney umbrella. So a lot of the characters that you see on these shows, specifically the heroes and maybe the villains, will show up in the movies. What are your thoughts on Secret Invasion?
Well, I think it's going to be good, and I'm kind of glad that they're not going to put it in a movie, because that's something that needs to be, in my opinion, that needs to be spaced out. You know what I'm saying, and executed perfectly as far as like storyline time and a build up for it. So I'm glad they're not going to cram it into one movie. So that's a plus. And as far as Samuel Jackson, I forgot the guy's name that plays Talos, but those two guys together, that should be some comedy gold. As far as those two, playing off each other. So I'm definitely down for it. And like I said, it should be a pretty good series, considering the fact what I just said. They have enough time to just execute and write the episodes and the story out nicely. So yeah, I'm down with it.
I think his name is Ben. Was it Ben Mickelson or Ben's Mickelson or something like that? It's Ben something. I think it's Ben's Mickelson. That's the actor who plays Talos' name. I think so.
Okay.
And then, because I know a while back they announced a Nick Fury series for Disney Plus. So I don't know if they changed it and decided to make it into Secret Invasion, or I don't know, because you remember they announced a Nick Fury series, right?
Yeah, I do remember that, but they never went through with that.
So I guess this is like the new Nick Fury series. Like they decided to just replace it with Secret Invasion.
Yeah, they kind of like beef it up a little bit to kind of give him a set story and direction to go towards. Because I think his movie days are pretty much, they're not going to use him like that in the movies anymore, like that.
I think
I feel like, I don't think he's going to have like a big prominent role like he did like in the Avengers. I think we'll see him like we did in Avengers Endgame. Like I think he'll have like special spots in there.
Yeah, you're right. Because the reason why he was used so sporadically in the beginning was just to set everything up. Because he was like what you mentioned about Rosario. She was basically the glue, for the Defender series to bring everyone together. That was Sam, it was Nick Fury, to bring together a lot of the the Avengers characters, and then the ones that were brought together, he didn't really have anything else to do. And also, the storyline in Winter Soldier, when it was found out that spoilers, even though the movie came out like 6-7 years ago. That
Yes, it did.
that Shield was being taken over by Hydra.
It
secret
was compromised.
compromised. There you go.
That was a secret invasion.
Yeah, technically. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to all of this, because I'll admit there's stuff I'm maybe gonna be maybe not as excited for because I'm not too sure about it. But it's Marvel. At the end of the day, Marvel has my money.
Same.
If I hear anything Marvel related, I'm like, okay, you don't tell me what it is. Just take my money, take my blood, take my soul, take my foot. Just take everything. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
So after that, they announced Ironheart, which is Riri Williams, who's
Riri Williams.
Basically, lack of a better term, the Black Iron Man or Iron Woman, who's I'm not too familiar with the comic. I don't know if you've read it.
I haven't read the comic, but I've seen the character. The character's been in video games and stuff like that, so that's how I'm familiar with the character.
And then when they announced this, they ended up announcing Armor Wars, which is going to bring back Don Cheadle as Rhodey. Which the plot line is he's facing Tony Stark's worst fear. His tech is falling into the wrong hands, which is basically the plot of each Iron Man movie. But
I know, right? You're right, man. It's either it fell into the wrong hands or somebody tried to bootleg it, in Justin Hammer's case, so it's weird.
Which the rumor is that they might bring back Justin Hammer for the series.
Well, they should. Sam Rockwell, to his credit, he's that guy. He's that villain you can constantly beat up, and it's not to the point where you can just kill him off. Like, he's always a villain that can. He's like in wrestling, like he's like a Cameron Grimes. He's somebody that's annoying, but you kind of, what I'm saying. He serves a purpose, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah, man. And
to the point where you could be around.
Yeah, and I liked him in Iron Man 2. I mean, Iron Man 2 wasn't, it was what it was, but I mean, I liked him in it. I mean, I think he's a good actor, and he plays such an asshole. Like he plays a good asshole.
Yeah, he does.
So
I mean, just douchebag.
I mean, I kind of hope he does come back, and also maybe this. I
wouldn't mind seeing his daughter.
Who's his daughter?
I wouldn't mind seeing who's what's her name? God damn it. The robot. Right? Am I thinking? Is it right? Wait a minute. Who's Crimson Dynamo? Justine Hammer is Crimson Dynamo, isn't she? Anybody in the chat know?
I don't think there's anyone. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with that name.
Hold on. Let's see. I might have to bust out the old Wikipedia real quick.
I mean, I have my phone open. I have my phone open. I can just look it up. All right. So you said Justine Hammer?
Yeah.
All right, Justine Hammer. Marvel. No, not Justin Hammer. Justine Hammer. Yeah, Crimson Cowl, Justine Hammer.
Yeah, Crimson Cowl. Okay.
Yeah,
the Crimson Dynamo is just a Russian robot. Okay. Yeah, Crimson Cowl.
Well, I was going to say, hopefully this series could possibly lead in with the actual not Mandalorian, Mandarin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
Because in Iron Man 3, they had the supposed Mandarin, but it ended up being a fake. But I forget which movie it was because a lot of not all of them, but I think some of them had a lot of these like one shot short films, and one of them was a short film for Ben Kingsley's Mandarin, and he's in prison, and there's a plot twist in the end where it's been figured out that the real Mandarin actually does exist.
Yeah. Of course. They had to. They had to. You know how the Mandarin is a big deal. I mean, it might not be to, people that don't know it, but if you know the story, if you know how those 10 rings work, the Mandarin is a big deal. So when I saw that in the movie theater, I was like, what the hell is this? What the fuck is this? Are you kidding me? He was just, when he flipped the switch, he was like, I'm just playing a character. I'm like, what? I said, oh my God. It was the opposite of when Mysterio flipped his switch in Far From Home. I was like, wow. That was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people hated that. Like, to this day, a lot of people hated that. I wasn't as angry because I'll be honest, I haven't read too many Iron Man comics, so I wasn't that familiar with the Mandarin. Like, I knew of him, but I wasn't too familiar with him. So when, the big change happened, I'm like, oh, so he's a fake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can...
playing the part.
I could see why people were pissed off, so... But, going back to what I was mentioning about Ironheart, so I don't know if Ironheart is coming up before Rhodey's series, meaning, could she possibly have a part to play in, was it Armor Wars? Possibly to have, Rhodey maybe be a mentor to her, so she can be the new Iron Man, or Iron Person, however you want to call it.
Yeah. It's definitely possible. I think their paths will cross, regardless of the order of the show. But yeah, you're right. I think one could definitely lead to another.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
Me neither.
Like I mentioned, Marvel has my money. So,
yeah, exactly. And I wonder who they're going to get to play the part.
You know what? I don't know. I just thought of this while I was talking. I think they already cast the Mandarin in the Shang-Chi movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep on... That's one movie that keeps on slipping my mind. With all this talk about the Spider-Man stuff, and I'm pretty sure we'll touch on that, but, like, that's been clouding everything. And then Fantastic Four talk, too, that's been overshadowing a lot of the small things. And poor Shang-Chi, man, that movie's getting pushed to the side a little bit, Well,
I mean, you can't really blame him because it's new. I mean, it's not new if you're like the most hardcore comic fan, it's not new. But if you're only someone that watches the movies, it's new. It's not going to really mean that much. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be interesting. I mean, I can't wait for it to come out because it looks interesting. So, let's get back on track. They showed trailers for WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki. Which one did you want to talk about first?
WandaVision. Well, I guess we'll talk about that one first because that's the one I have the least interest in.
Right.
I like Vision, and I like Wanda, but it's just I'm not. I don't know the premise of the show. I'm gonna have to see it first to really get a good full gauge on it. But as of right now, my interest level is kind of low on it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think that's kind of universal because of all the trailers, because like I watch a lot of trailer reactions to
right.
Because I don't know, like if you have you heard of Tyrone Magnus?
Yeah. Oh boy, I know Tyrone Magnus is.
Oh yeah, Tyrone Magnus, Akasan, Egomog, I love those guys, and I always wait for the trailers to come out so I can see the reactions. And it's kind of universal across the board that, WandaVision kind of seems like the most, I guess, hyped show that everyone wants to see because, and I don't really blame them because it's very vague.
Yeah.
You can kind of see where the plot lies, but they're not really showing too much. And then, again, that's Marvel. Marvel, they'll show a lot, but they won't show everything. Because they'll make you think that you're thinking, but once you actually watch it, you're like, oh, that didn't look like that was supposed to be the reason why that scene was there at all.
Yeah, they do a lot of bait and switches in a lot of trailers too.
Right, because you'll be seeing the trailer and then you'll watch the movie and it's like, wait, in that trailer they were in a dark alley, but in this scene they're actually in a sunny mountaintop. Like it just
I give you an example. Remember the Avengers trailer for Infinity War? You see the Hulk running in the background with the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah,
and then in the movie, he's in a fucking Hulkbuster suit, and you're like, "What the hell?" That's one example right there.
It's like, yeah, he was only a Hulk for like 3 minutes, and he got his ass beat. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, I mean, it's smart on their part because they want to actually have that genuine, satisfied reaction when you're watching it, because they want people to actually walk out just happy, confused, sad, angry, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, absolutely. No, I agree with you.
But I'll look. I mean, obviously it's Marvel, so I'm gonna look forward to WandaVision just to see how fucked up it can be, because I like Scarlet Witch. I love the actress that plays her for different reasons. I mean, I think she's a good I think she's a good actress, and she's easy on the eyes too. But I also think she's a very good actress.
Yeah, she's the hottest. She's the hotter Olsen twin, or the Olsen sister.
Well, to me, she's the only Olsen sister.
Dead or alive?
Yeah, the other.
Good lord.
Yeah, the other two are just dead.
They're just dead, and the last time I saw them, they looked like they were on death's door. So
Yeah, man, but I'm interested to see what this does with Vision, because they're being very vague, so you're not sure if all this is in her mind or if she's being fucked with. So
yeah,
I mean, I kind of hope they bring Vision back, because I liked Vision. I didn't like what they did with him. I didn't like what they did with him in Infinity War, because they just made him. They just had him get his ass beat throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, they made him look like a world class bitch in that. They did. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, because Age of Ultron, he comes out and he actually lifts Thor's hammer with ease.
Yeah.
And then Civil War, he's a beast. And then Infinity War, he just gets his ass beat throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then killed.
Yeah, Thanos just goes yoink and just throws him off to the fucking side.
But why that sound like Vince McMahon wrote the movie? He give this guy a huge monster push, and then he just dies. His career just dies. 6 months later.
It couldn't have been Vince McMahon, because the movie was actually good.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
So, but yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do a Vince impression right now. Yeah, Vision.
Pal, we had to cool it down on him. Huh?
Yeah, you look too strong. You look too strong out there, pal.
Gotta wear you down. Wait a minute. Where's your long black hair? supposed to be wet.
But I'm an android, sir.
That's not good enough answer. All right, Thanos is gonna chop you out in 5 minutes. But Jesus Christ!
But you don't even work for Disney, sir.
I don't give a damn. This is my show. Do you know who I am? I'm Mr. McMahon. Damn it! The genetic jackhammer.
Oh, Vince.
That's your wife? She's supposed to be blonde. Don't you get the memo? Blonde and big tits.
Kevin Feige has to drag Vince McMahon off of the Disney lot.
I would actually pay pay-per-view money to see that.
I would too. He has to get Vince McMahon and his eyebrows off of the Disney lot.
Oh God, his newly Botox face.
He has to get the Crayola people who color his face in.
What kind of face would you like today, sir? A little bit more brown around the eyes, a little tan around the cheeks.
Yeah,
just when it comes to the booty chin, just dent it a little bit. Not too much, just dent it. Just a little imprint.
Where's the damn Clado people? I need my face. I need my face look nice. You need
Take care of the wrinkles, damn it.
You need to mold that shit in. God damn it.
Oh God.
Anyways, let's get back on track. So yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think I'm kind of torn between that and Loki, because in the beginning I wasn't crazy about Loki. Then I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, okay,
yeah.
Marvel. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm biased because I love Cap. A lot of these shows, they said in the beginning, the shows are going to have movie quality. They're going to have movie quality CGI, effects, camera work. and you see that it's like literally each episode is going to be a mini movie, and
Yeah.
I'm really hyped for this show in particular. No Chris Evans. We're getting Anthony Mackie. I mean, it looks like the last episode we're going to see him in the Cap suit, because from the way the plot is described, at the end of Endgame, spoilers, Cap gave Falcon his shield, and basically said, you're the new Cap. And the government, is still, well, technically you're still a criminal. You're still a war criminal. So we can't let you be Cap. So we're going to choose our own Cap. And they're bringing in U.S. Agent, which, Mitch from Wrestling Soup, could probably tell a little bit more about. And he's basically, Cap, but kind of, he's Cap, but not Cap. He's kind of a psycho Cap. And then they bring back Zemo from Civil War, which I'm pretty happy about.
Yeah, because he was a very, very intellectual villain. I like that. He's a very low key villain. He wasn't anything flashy or anything like that. But he played a big part in the Avengers' Rift, and that's more more damage done than anything physical. So he definitely played his part well as far as the downfall of the Avengers went.
Yeah,
for a good bit there.
Yeah, a lot of people, you just took the words out of my mouth. A lot of people say he's one of the weaker villains in the movies. I'm like, he didn't need to kill anyone, physically. All he actually killed a group without really having to lift a finger.
Exactly.
But give me 1 second. I'm going to let my cat out.
All right.
Come on. Yeah. I'm letting you out. Come on. All right. Yeah, but I'm happy to see him back, and he's actually going to be wearing like the comic accurate, suit and the mask and everything. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped for that show. It comes out in March, and then WandaVision comes out at the beginning of the year. It was supposed to come out in December, but they decided to push it back to January. So this whole year, no Marvel stuff for the first time in, I think, 2009.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, right?
It's crazy. Not even a Marvel series. But I guess with after Endgame, they're like, okay, we need to recharge, because Endgame, even Far From Home, took a lot out of everybody. So we have to let everybody recharge,
breathe.
Because if we just keep throwing shit at your face, then you'll still enjoy it, but it's gonna be like, okay, no more. It's like, I just nutted. Give me time to recharge. It's like, no, we need you to nut again. We need more cum.
Let me drink some water, damn it, please.
No, god damn it. On here.
God damn it.
No, please don't suck my dick anymore. No, god damn it, bring me that dick.
I can't take it anymore.
Disney.
Stop.
Disney, stop sucking my dick, please.
No, don't get back on. God, no.
As soon as the new year starts, we're just going to get that text message. You better be ready, fucker. Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Get ready to go.
Yeah, Loki, which was surprising, because, again, I said I was kind of least interested in that. Not because I don't like Loki, but I was just like, okay, what can that show do that can interest me or even intrigue me? And then I see the trailer. I'm like, well played. Well played. Like, I say all that, and Tom Hiddleston just goes, "Hold my beer." And really good. Fucking...
Well, you know what? Know what? When the show was first pitched, I was instantly intrigued because of his performances, in the movies and everything like that. So it always had my attention, especially more than WandaVision. But like you said, Tom Hiddleston, man, he took that role and made it his. Low key, Hey, let's not forget when they was unveiling the trailer for Thor 2, Dark World, like when he came out, like he got this huge rousing ovation, man. When he came out to reveal the trailer, so like people love Loki, and I think that his popularity is definitely spread, and it deserves a show, in my opinion. So when they dropped the trailer and everything like that, I was like, I was already into it. But after seeing it, I'm like, damn, okay, I see.
Yeah, cause it looks like it's gonna deal with time travel. Again, they kept it vague, but enough to where you can
have some interest.
You can kind of gauge because it starts off, in the scene in Endgame where they go back to the first Avengers and Loki takes the Tesseract and goes back into space, and he's in some weird random, I don't know if it's a planet or like a place on Earth, and this agency that deals with people who fuck with time, take him in, and Owen Wilson is, I guess, like the supervisor or president or whatever you want to call it. It's interesting to see Owen Wilson in a Marvel in a Marvel thing. So
yeah, no, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
yeah, I like Owen Wilson. So
yeah, I do too. I don't mind him.
So, but what else was I going to say? So there was of course, there's people on YouTube that will do like the deciphering of the trailer. They'll show you Easter eggs or things maybe you should take notice of. Few things. So Kang the Conqueror, who was announced, for Ant-Man and the Wasp, not Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, Part 3, which is going to be called Quantumania, which, okay. Kang the Conqueror, deals with time travel, and he's pretty much, I guess, going to be the new big baddie from here on out, or at least until the next Avengers movie. And he is supposedly going to play a big part in this show somewhat, because it looks like they're doing, what was it, the Council of Kang? Mm-hmm. They kind of show a statue of him, which, okay. Yep. I mean, I'm kind of vague with the character. Here's the thing: I read comics. I haven't read every comic under the sun. I'm kind of like, I've read enough to where I can know as much as I can. I'm still reading comics so I can catch up with certain characters, storylines, what have you. Like, how much do you know about Kang the Conqueror?
Very little, but I know that they used him once again. Here's where playing certain video games will give you a little bit of, a heads up on certain things. He was the villain for the last Lego Marvel game they did.
Right.
So it was very interesting fighting him and everything like that. But yeah, like you said, he dabbles in time travel. Blah, I can't talk. And yeah, like, I don't really follow him up like that, but for what I could tell from the video game and certain other source material that I've seen, he's a pretty big deal. And if they're not going to do Galactus, I think he's the next big thing that they can use right now in Marvel.
Well, we'll get to Galactus pretty soon. So there's that.
The real Galactus.
The real Galactus, not a bunch of air.
Yeah, not that cloud shit from Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, none of that bullshit. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, that movie was so bad, Chris Evans doesn't even remember being in it. Yeah,
the only reason why I remember that movie so well is because Jessica Alba played naked in it, again. No. That's the only thing I remember from that movie.
Hey, it was better than that whatever the fuck that Fantastic Four movie was 5 years ago.
Oh, God, that was awful. Let's not even talk about that.
Like, I paid money to go watch that.
Oh, man, I wish I would have known you 5 years ago. I would have told you not to do that, man, because that was...
You need to go back in time. You need to go back in time, like, what is it, the scene in BVS, like when you're the Flash, right around buying the tickets. Yep. You just come out, don't do it! Don't listen to him! What?
No! Slap the money out of your hand. Don't do it. Even looking at the trailers, man, I know they said don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Right.
But when I saw that trailer, I was like, this is garbage. I ain't paying to see no money to see that bullshit. Jamie Bell is the Thing? What the fuck? What? What?
Here's where I'm an apologist. The beginning of the movie was good, and then it just went from there. It just went off the rails. It's the funny thing was they announced that they were going to do a sequel, and then the very next day, Michael B. Jordan signed up to do Black Panther. He's like, I'm good. Bye. Oh my God.
He was better off for it because that performance is a whole lot more better than what he did in the Fantastic Four. I mean, it wasn't bad because of him by any means, but it was just, Black Panther he's more remembered for being, Killmonger than being Johnny Storm.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Black Panther, they announced that they're not going to recast, T'Challa's character played by Chadwick. I mean, as we know, back in August, Chadwick passed away due to, I forgot, was it colon cancer?
Colon cancer.
Which, I don't know. I'm still bummed out about that. I still get bummed out when I think about that.
Yeah, man. When I took and bought that shirt from that T-shirt place in Greenville, like I was like, damn, man. Like I looked at it first and I just like, phew. I was just shaking my head. I was like, man, I still can't believe he's gone.
Yeah, it's weird because he actually, I think this was like a year before, he actually said that he read the script for the sequel. Mm-hmm. And he already knew what the plot was, and supposedly the plot was going to be that they were going to bring in Namor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that too. Namor, and I heard White Tiger too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Namor, like, fuck yeah. I love Namor. That would have
me too.
That would have been
very underrated villain.
He's a... Here's the thing, I don't think he's a villain. He's definitely not a hero, but I think he's more of a gray area guy.
More of an anti-hero.
No, not really an anti-hero, because an anti-hero, I mean, Batman's an anti-hero. Punisher's an anti-hero. I mean, Namor is more of just like he does his own thing. Like he deals with his own shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, okay. So they said they're not going to recast him. Here's what I think they should do, but I don't think they will.
Mm-hmm. So,
at the end of Black Panther, anyone who hasn't seen it, spoilers, Killmonger's character, gives that line, was it the ocean is better than bondage? And then he stabs himself in the chest. Mm-hmm. Or no, he was already stabbed in the chest and he takes the knife out. Here's the idea I pitched. We never actually saw him die.
Nope.
And for all we know off screen, T'Challa, realized this is family, I gotta do right by him, but I can't let him out. I can't let him out of my sight. So he decided to take him back to get fixed up, but he still locked him up.
Yeah.
Because it was a thing of like, I understand your anger and your pain, but I can't let you out because you're at the end of this day, you're still kind of a monster. Mm-hmm. So, for all we know, after Black Panther, during Infinity War, during Endgame, Killmonger's been locked up, and he hasn't been let out for obvious reasons. So, what if, and that's another series we're going to touch up on, what if Killmonger has been alive this whole time, and now that, I don't know what they're going to do in the second movie. I don't know if they're going to kill him off screen or retire him or do something. What if they bring back Michael Jordan to make him the new Black Panther?
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'd be fine with it because they want to say Shuri. And I like Shuri, but I don't think she can carry a movie. She's more of a side character. Like
she has to be. She's like the Miz.
Right.
They have to have somebody to play off of in order to make it work throughout the whole film.
Right, and
because we're so used to her, like from the two movies that we've seen her in. We're used to her, bouncing off and playing off of T'Challa. So it's it's going to be weird her carrying the whole film by herself. It's going to be weird. So there has to be a little bit of a dynamic there.
Right, and also, Michael B. Jordan's already proven he can carry a movie on his own. With
Oh yeah, he's done it. He's done it plenty of times at this point.
Fruitvale Station, what's Creed 1 and 2. I mean, he's
Mhm.
he's a new it guy. So again, I wouldn't be opposed to him being the new Black Panther. I really wouldn't. And they've already given Killmonger his own series in the comic books.
Mhm.
So I mean, it seems like a good storyline to do. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he would feel about it, because I know him in. Again, I'm not saying I know Michael B. Jordan, as well as anyone else, but I know him and Chadwick are very close. So I mean, I don't know how you would feel about that. If Kevin Feige said we're thinking about making a new Black Panther. So again, it's something I would like to see happen, but I don't think it would happen. So, anyways, where are we next? We already talked about Loki, and so yeah, What If? It's going to be an animated series dealing with the What If comic books, where they take certain storylines, go, what if this happened? The character the Watcher was going to be voiced by why did I forget his name? Jeffrey, was it not Jeffrey Rush? The actor who's
Jeffrey
playing,
D. Morgan.
not Jeffrey Dean, the actor who's playing Jim Gordon in the new Batman.
Jeffrey. What the hell is his name? I forgot what his name is. I knew you're talking about.
He was on
I can't think of his last name.
He's on that Westworld show, which I don't watch, but a lot of people do. What the fuck, Jeffrey Wright. There you go. Yeah, he's going to be voicing the Watcher, and it's showing a lot of series, like one where T'Challa ends up being Star-Lord, not Peter Quill. What is it? A Doctor Strange a Doctor Strange series where he takes on a dark Doctor Strange. One showing Peggy Carter taking this super soldier serum, and not Steve, and she's Captain Britain.
No, that'd be dope.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty. The animation looks pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I like dope stuff like that. Like, you can never go wrong with a nice what if story. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that what if. So that's something, and I wish I would see people complain about that.
I doubt they are. I doubt they will. One what if series I would like to see, but again, probably will never happen, is if they do the what if Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I would love to see. I mean, they won't do that as a movie, a live action movie. I want to see that as an animated movie. I want to see that. I fucking love that book. It's so dark and insane, and I love it. But yeah, I doubt it. What's your opinion on that?
What, on the whole what if series period in general?
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, it's a lot of fun potential stories that they could tell. That's has nice twists and stuff to it, and you never know what's going to happen in some of these stories. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, something different, and it doesn't affect the timeline, so nobody should really complain or get angry about it. Because people still find a way to bitch about everything, but there's really no need to. Because it's just like you said, it's what if. It's in your imagination. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and I don't know why you would bitch, but just it's like with wrestling. Why would you bitch? Like, even if something good happens, why would you still need to find a way to bitch about it? But again, that's something we'll get into later. Let's see, Hawkeye, or no, not Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, the teenage Muslim hero from New Jersey, and they've already announced that she's going to be in the next Captain Marvel with Brie Larson and Monica Rambeau, which that's pretty interesting. Miss Marvel.
I like Miss Marvel.
I like Miss Marvel too. I mean, I'm slowly reading more about her. I mean, reading the comics. I played the Avengers game. Yeah,
same here. That's when my love for her kind of formed a little bit.
Yeah, I like her because she's almost kind of like Spider-Man in a way, where she's this powerful hero that could beat the fuck out of anyone, but at the end of the day, she's still a kid. And she still has to deal with, problems, people with her age you have to deal with. And that's what's relatable about her. And, the actress, who's playing her, she's very, very new. As a matter of fact, this is literally her first acting role in anything.
Wow. Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure.
Right, because I looked her up, and she didn't even have an IMDb page.
Wow.
And come to find out,
that's a lot of pressure.
Come to find out, this is like her first acting role. Same thing with the girl who's playing Riri Williams in Ironheart. This is actually their first acting roles in anything.
Wow, that's big pressure for both of them. Yikes.
So, Marvel obviously saw something in them that we didn't. So we're just gonna have to wait. More than likely they'll knock it out of the park. And they didn't really show a trailer. It was more like a sizzle reel talking about the behind the scenes of the character. And then they showed what they were already filming. And they showed them like a Zoom meeting of them giving her the role, and she seemed beyond ecstatic about it. And she comes across as a nice girl, as a very down to earth sweet girl. And so I'm looking forward to it because I'm part Middle Eastern, and to see a Middle Eastern superhero, it's interesting. It's something like, I don't want to say it looks like me, but it's something that I can somewhat relate to. Like I can go, that's she's representing part of my people, and it's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to enjoy it. What's your overall thoughts about Miss Marvel?
No, like I said, I like the character too. Very cutesy. And I don't know. She's one of those characters that kind of make you smile. Kind of like Spider-Man, They're the uppity characters that make you smile. And that's what you have to kind of appreciate about Marvel. They have something for everybody, you know what I'm saying? They have the characters that make you smile like those two. Then you have, the characters that are very serious like Daredevil and Punisher, that are more realistic with the violence and everything. And you just, I don't know, you just take it for what it is, and Miss Marvel is definitely one of those characters that I look forward to seeing on the big screen. But like I said, man, that's a lot of pressure for those kids. Her and the girl's going to be playing Riri because how demanding fans can be. It's going to be tip top perfect. I actually feel bad for these girls. I hope they can really, really pull it out and deliver.
Yeah, you're right. It is a lot of pressure because at the end of the day, you could get a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, and again, there's still gonna, like you just mentioned, there's still gonna be people that are gonna find a way to nitpick. She didn't say the line from issue 23 where Miss Marvel's is getting a sandwich and she's going, shut the fuck up. Just please shut the... This is something I kind of had to... I'm not in Marvel, obviously. If I was, I'd be swimming in the big bucks. But last year, I had put up a comic article because, comicbook.com has to share everything that every Marvel actor or DC actor does, and they put up a conversation, or actually no, here's what happened. There was a conversation going on between Don Cheadle and Brie Larson on Twitter. And, in the comics, Captain Marvel, Carol and War Machine, they have a thing going on. And I just put up an issue from a comic where War Machine and Carol are, kissing. And comicbook.com actually showed my tweet on the article.
Right.
And I had to find this out from a friend. He told me, "Hey, you're on Yahoo News." I'm like, "Huh?" And I looked up the article, and well, to me, it's cool. The coolest thing about it is they didn't just say a fan, put up this tweet. It just goes, "Look at Drew Yaru's tweet." I went, "Ah." Yeah, and this is comicbook.com. Cool. This is like a legit, website. This isn't, we got this
for sure.
Or Cosmic Book News. But
I visit that website a whole lot.
Yeah, I love it. So I went back to the tweet, and it was getting a lot of retweets, a lot of likes. And of course, there was those fans that'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, Captain Marvel. And I go, dude, shut the fuck up. All I did was just put up a picture, dude. Relax. I didn't reply. I just kind of rolled my eyes and just went, Jesus. But yeah, Miss Marvel, I'm looking forward to it. I'm all for the new blood. I'm all for these newer characters. I mean, I hope this girl knocks it out of the park, which I think she will. I mean, she has that giddy optimism, attitude that Kamala Khan has in the comics and also in the video game. So, I mean, we'll see. And next is Hawkeye. We're finally getting that Hawkeye series. And Haley Steinfeld, finally revealed that she's playing Kate Bishop, which has been teased for the last year. And then she finally revealed it on her Instagram. They showed, the behind the scenes footage of her in the costume, which she looks good in that costume, not gonna lie. I like Haley Steinfeld. She's a good actress. I liked her in pretty much anything I've seen her in. She was Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen in Spider-Verse.
Right. And it was so funny how they made that character look like her, too. Favor her a little bit.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I wouldn't mind if she showed up in the live-action Spider-Man as Spider-Gwen, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, right.
And then she was in Bumblebee. She was the lead in Bumblebee with John Cena. I mean, she's a good actress. I like her. She comes out as very likable. She could play vulnerable. She can play likable. She can play serious. She's been in a few action films. She was I was looking up a lot of her work. She was in a film where she played an assassin, and then she did two other roles where she was like an assassin or something. So this isn't her first time doing action. But I mean, I like her. I like her in this series. What's your overall thoughts about the Hawkeye series?
Well, it's good to see my man there, Jeremy Renner, still getting work after, because a lot of people had him written off. As far as like the Avengers, because if anybody can go back, even in the first Avengers, people written him off and thought that he was going to be the first one to get killed, and then Age of Ultron, they built that whole movie around introducing his family and everything like that, and people thought that okay, they're introducing his family, so we feel bad for his family when Hawkeye dies, and that didn't happen. And then he went missing, and the Avengers. So Hawkeye, it's good to see him getting work and getting play in this TV show. And Kate Bishop, man, this is the timing for all this is just perfect, because on the Avengers game they just dropped the DLC pack for Kate Bishop and everything. So
right,
the timing is very, very perfect. And I don't know, man, I'm into the character a whole lot. I like the character, just playing with her on the video game. Like, it's very smooth and everything. And Haley Steinfeld is great. I like her. So seeing her in the park makes it even a whole lot more better. And I think that she's going to knock it out of the park, and I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to that. That's one of the ones I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah, like agreement.
And no big particular order. That Winter Soldier and the Falcon and Loki, and no particular order, but those three are the ones I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, and Hawkeye, again, they haven't really revealed too much about the plot. I mean, obviously the plot is, he's training Kate Bishop to be the new Hawkeye, and to go with the comics, Hawkeye is starting to lose his hearing,
right?
And so, I mean, we're not too sure. The villain is supposed to be someone named Clown. I mean, I'm not too sure who that is. I'm
not familiar with the villain either.
I'll have to read up on the comics. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I think that's. More series news. She-Hulk already announced that Tatiana Maslany, of Orphan Black fame, is going to be playing the lead role, which is weird because she announced. I mean, it was announced that she was going to play the role, and then she came out and said, "I'm not playing the role," and now Marvel. Or no, Marvel and her, went on their social media and said, "Yeah, I'm playing She-Hulk." Like, which again, I can't blame them, because there's a difference between a website announcing it and Marvel actually announcing it. Because there's a difference between saying, Charlie Cox is in talks to play Daredevil in the Spider-Man 3 movie, and also Charlie Cox himself saying, "Yeah, I'm in the Daredevil movie."
Yeah.
So, But yeah, she already announced on her social media and Instagram, saying that she's going to be in the role. Mark Ruffalo is coming back as Bruce Banner, and they're bringing back Tim Roth from the Incredible Hulk movie.
Uh-oh.
The one that people like to forget, which I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna give a very unpopular opinion. I didn't hate the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
I didn't either.
I didn't hate it. You know what I compare that movie to? It's the pineapples on pizza of MCU movies. Which actually, I hate pineapples on pizza. I'm going to use a different analogy. It's the oatmeal raisin bran cookies on the MCU movies.
Okay, yeah, that's a whole lot more better.
Because I like oatmeal raisin bran cookies. A lot of people seem to hate them, which I don't know why. It's like that's the Incredible Hulk movie. It wasn't that bad. Like it actually had a decent storyline. I think people just didn't like it because of Edward Norton. So
I think that's the common denominator that I get. But I thought the movie was good. I thought he did well. I thought I don't know, man. I didn't mind Edward Norton in the role, as Banner there, and his supporting cast wasn't bad either. I thought Tim Roth as what you call it there. He was pretty intense.
Abomination
as Blonsky, yeah. I thought he was pretty intense. He looked like I like how from the beginning of the movie, like he's an intense guy, but at the gradually throughout the film, like you can see him like slowly but surely getting insane. You know what I'm saying? So I like how his character took like a 180 degrees, turn throughout the film if you pay attention to it before he even got the abomination shot, so to speak. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I liked him. Like I said, I like the abomination. I didn't mind that at all. I don't mind the whole movie in general. I thought it was fine. Yeah,
and then William Hurt, of course. He's one of the underrated villains of the MCU because he plays a great villain because he honestly thinks what he's doing is right, and that makes a great villain. Is we think what he's doing is wrong, but he thinks he's right. And there's no way you can convince him otherwise. So I don't know if he's returning for this series. I know he'll be in the Black Widow movie. I don't know if he'll be in this series. He might. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see him and Mark Ruffalo, share the screen. So we'll see.
Yeah, it would be.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Oh, shit, I closed my screen. Okay, here we go. And then they just announced more newer series. They talked about Moon Knight. They didn't really share too much about that. The talk is that Oscar Isaac is playing Moon Knight, which I'm going to wait for that to actually be true because, like I mentioned, there's a difference between them saying he's in talks and him actually saying, "Hey, I'm playing Moon Knight." So all they just said was, "We're making Moon Knight." A Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which James Gunn is actually going to be directing and writing. And then they're making an I Am Groot series, which is going to be about Baby Groot and his adventures. Which, again, it's Marvel. They have my money.
Right. I Am Groot.
I Am Groot. And then next, we kind of touch base on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. They already announced, the regular cast, like, Paul Rudd, Angelina Lilly, Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't think they announced Michael Douglas. I think they did. I don't know if they did. And then the actor who's playing King the Conqueror. And
the black guy.
Yeah, I think his name is Jonathan Majors.
Like somebody said when they was texting me the cast, and I was like, "Well, what?" I said, "What about the villain?" And she goes, "The black guy. I don't know what his name is." It's like, what?
Yeah, he's on that show. He's on that show on HBO that everyone likes. What is it?
He's a good actor. He's a good actor. So I have no doubts that he'll do well with this.
I've literally never seen many things, so I don't know. I mean, obviously Marvel, they're smart about who they pick. So I'll back at that.
Yeah, they be picking a lot of these guys that are small on the scale, and when they have a good performance, then you're like, damn, okay.
Yeah, the Church of Marvel is usually never wrong. the priest Kevin Feige is never wrong. I don't know, but Quantum, and then they announced they're replacing the actress from Endgame who played Cassie with Catherine Newton, who was, if anyone knows her that well, she was on Supernatural. She played a role in Supernatural, and then she was in that movie Freaky, that movie that just came out with Vince Vaughn. It's like a horror version of Freaky Friday. So I guess it makes sense that they replaced her because the actress that was playing Cassie in Endgame, I mean, she had all but one line, like literally one line. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they would put her. I don't know. I mean, they replaced her. I mean, this isn't the first time Marvel's done this. This isn't the first time Marvel's done we'll replace them. No one's going to notice.
Yeah.
Like what they did with Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle. It's like, yeah, no one's going to notice. It's like, really?
There's a big fucking difference. One's vanilla and one's chocolate.
It's like with Aunt Vivian. Yeah, we'll replace her with a light skin. It's like, why? I mean, I love Don.
Fuck you. That's why.
I mean, I love Don Cheadle, but it's just like you couldn't have gotten somebody that maybe looked a little similar to Terrence Howard, but I don't know, whatever. But yeah. Overall, what are your thoughts on the part 3 of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Ant-Man is kind of one of those superheroes with me that's not very popular all that much. Like I don't go gaga crazy over Ant-Man, but I do like the movies, and I'm not a big fan of Paul Rudd. When he was first casted as Ant-Man, I'm like, God damn, like this guy who thinks he's funny is playing Ant-Man. But after seeing the Ant-Man movies, like I've been impressed, and I like his dynamic with the Wasp there. And, I think they really work well together and stuff like that. So I don't mind seeing this. I really don't. I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was good too. It's fine with me. And look, hey, they deserve a sequel. They deserve another chance to go out there and, tell another story here. And I think it has the grounds to be. I think the villain in the last one was very, very, I don't know. The villain felt very uneventful to me. I don't know how you feel about it. How you felt about the villain in the last movie, but
well,
I felt it was kind of uneventful, but
right.
I mean, damn, like they're bringing out the big guns for this film here, so I'm definitely interested. And I think if the theaters open back up, they definitely got my money to go see it.
I mean, the villain wasn't really a villain because the villain was understandable. The only thing that kind of didn't really bother me, but it was more just like. It was when, Michelle Pfeiffer comes out of the quantum zone and she does the E.T. thing. Ouch. And she takes her pain away. I'm just like, really? But, overall, yeah, I like the Ant-Man movies. I'm the opposite of you. I like Paul Rudd. I've always liked Paul Rudd. I see him in any role and I see me. I'm just like...
So that's what it is. You relate to him.
I relate to him. Like, Paul Rudd is basically me. Like, he's kind of a dry, cynical asshole in some aspects, but yeah, I like the Ant-Man movies. I mean, there's really nothing memorable about them. I'm still pissed off that we'll never see. Fuck, why am I forgetting his name? The Mexican guy, Luis. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That we'll never see Luis get to recap the entire Marvel universe. Like there has to be. There's got to be there should have been an intro to Endgame, or at least a special intro to Endgame on the Blu-ray, where he's recapping the events leading up to Endgame. Like I don't know. I'm also sad he was never in Endgame. Like it would be nice. It would have been nice to see him in Endgame. But anyways,
who knows? Maybe they might take your idea to cap it off.
Yeah,
to cap off the third Ant-Man movie.
Again, I would never question the High Priest, Kevin Feige. But I just picture Kevin Feige just sitting somewhere in a big chair at Marvel Studios, and he just has a big cigar and a bottle of Henny, and he's just like, give the people what they want. But Mr. Feige, give the people what they want.
Yeah.
He just blows all this giant smoke in everybody. He just brings in Hugh Jackman. We want to bring you back, Wolverine, and he just throws like a buttload of money at him. But I don't want to be Wolverine anymore. I'm done. Oh, really? Come here. You're gonna be Wolverine, and you're gonna like.
You can do what I say, damn it.
Put on the claws and be Wolverine. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
But,
and here's the thing: you don't have to take your clothes off anymore. Okay.
Yeah, this is Disney. You don't have to be naked. You just have to be somewhat naked.
Right? One shirtless scene for the ladies. Other than that, you don't have to be butt ass naked anymore in the movie.
But,
take that money, shove it up your ass, do whatever you want to do with it, and get out of here.
But yeah, the Ant-Man movie. I'm a fan of the Ant-Man movies. But moving on, they announced the development of a Fantastic Four movies from Marvel Studios.
Mm-hmm.
After they already bought, Fox, all of Fox's, property back in 2019, which includes Fantastic Four, any and all X-Men properties, including Deadpool. They just announced that they're, going to be doing a Fantastic Four movie. The director is going to be John Watts of the Spider-Man MCU movies, Far From Home and Homecoming, which I find interesting.
They do too.
I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast, and Mark Bernardin, who's the co-host on the show, had alluded to that seeing that John Watts will be the director of the Fantastic Four might mean that we probably won't. We will be getting Spider-Man, but as a side character in other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we probably won't get a Spider-Man movie for a while, but he'll be used as a character in other movies. Like, pretty much like Spider-Man was using a character as a side character in other comics or in the cartoon.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which I'm fine with, because, after this next Spider-Man movie, which we'll definitely talk about, it's going to be huge. So you're going to, Spidey's going to have to, like in wrestling, he's the top guy, and he's going to have to help put over, the young up-and-coming talent. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with John Watts, because I like the Spider-Man movies. The Fantastic Four movie I'm excited for because, again, it's Marvel Studios. They're going to make them great. And I like that they're being made before X-Men. Because in, the comics, Fantastic Four, came out before the X-Men. And, they're the first family in Marvel.
Right.
So, overall, what are your thoughts about it? Say you're Kevin Feige. Say you're just sitting in your big chair at your home, in your giant mansion, surrounded by beautiful dancing women, and you're just sipping on a bottle of Henny and smoking a big cigar. I'm playing. Just imagine you have the pen to book the Fantastic Four in the MCU. How would you do it? Before I tell mine, I want to hear yours.
Well, okay. I think I would do something similar to how they did Spider-Man, because we've seen the origin story twice already, right?
Right.
I would do something similar where, they already have their powers. They're somewhat established, but not too established. And I would do something like that. Because, like I said, the origin story, that could be, very draining and stuff like that, especially when we've seen it in live action movies twice already, whether they were good or not. And I would use them in that capacity and just kind of use them, introduce them into a movie. I don't know about this next Spider-Man one. I don't know. I don't know. Man. I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to be very, very logical here.
You want to hear an idea that I heard?
Oh yeah, sure. By all means.
And this actually isn't my idea. This is going to be John Draper's idea.
Okay.
The idea he had, which I'd be all for, and actually I think the director not the director of Spider-Man, but I think there's a director who had an idea that was similar to Draper's, where the idea for the Fantastic Four was that they've actually existed before. But the reason no one remembers them is because the idea that Draper had was that they existed back in the 60s. Back when SHIELD was kind of barely starting, getting back up. And they were around for Hank Pym, when Hank Pym was there, when Janet was there. So there'd be that connection. And something big happened. Something cosmic happened to where they had to vaporize themselves out of existence in order to save the world. So that's why nobody remembers them.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's barely anyone that remembers them. You can say maybe a few people are going to remember them. So that's an interesting way to bring them in. And also, there is an idea that you can bring them in through the Ant-Man sequel.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like I mentioned, the idea was that they were around for the 60s, for SHIELD and also, Hank Pym and Janet. So those they're going to be the only ones that remember him. Nick Fury probably won't even remember him. He'll probably barely remember him. So that's a way you can bring him in. It's like with Captain Marvel. Say what you want about the movie. I mean, the storyline was that she was here before, but the only person that really remembers her is Nick Fury. And for some reason, he never bothered to mention her before. But that's a way you can bring them in. I mean, that can also be a way you can bring the X-Men in. Is that one idea I heard that was kind of trippy was that they've been here the whole time, but Professor X got tired of prejudice and being fucked with. That he that because he's the most powerful mutant in the world, he's an Omega level mutant. That he decided to fuck with everyone's mind and make them forget mutants.
That's definitely a way to tie it all together and make it make sense.
Right? And also the idea is that WandaVision might bring in mutants. That it might be very similar to House of M, which if anyone hasn't read House of M, there's that famous No More Mutants line. Mm-hmm. And the show could possibly end with her saying, no, more mutants. Or more mutants. Which, if I hear her say that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get a boner. I'm gonna pull up my dick and just jack off all over the screen. I'm like, ah. So,
your girl's gonna have to clean the TV.
Babe, I had another accident. Ah.
God damn it, not again.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. I'm hyped for it because.
Yeah, I love Fantastic Four.
The first two. I mean, they're goofy. They weren't really my cup of tea. I enjoyed them for what they were.
Yeah, you want to know? You want to know one of my main gripes with the Fantastic Four movies? The first one, the first two, the fact that Doctor Doom wasn't able to be Doctor Doom. Like I like Julian McMahon as as an actor, and he's pretty much a dick in everything he's in, so he's a natural in the role. But like I just thought that they never gave him a chance to actually be Doctor Doom, and that sucked because Doctor Doom is very iconic.
Right, it's weird because a lot of people have been saying the same thing. Because Julian McMahon, the actor, said the same thing that he wouldn't mind playing the role again just to get it right. Because I don't know if he's a big comic book reader, but he says he wanted to make him more savage, a little bit more brutal and psychotic. And of all people, Eddie Kingston, who was surprisingly a big comic fan, big fan of Star Wars and the Marvel movies, had said that he actually talked about the reboot that Marvel announced that he can't wait to see Doctor Doom done right, a little bit more psychotic. Which more than likely, I don't think Doctor Doom will be in the first one. He'll probably be in like a post credit scene, or more than likely come out for the next one. Because the first one, they're always going to put the most iconic villain in the first movie. So
no, they got to see the best for last sometimes in certain aspects, which is fine. That's cool.
Yeah, usually the sequel for anything is more than likely ends up being better than the first one. More than likely, not all of them, but
yeah, of course, because they got a little bit of momentum to kind of ride off of a little bit, and if you can have that chance to make the second one better, you go for it,
Yeah, so I'm happy about it. They haven't announced a movie date, which we probably won't even hear about casting news until maybe next summer. And
man, they work fast at Marvel, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I mean, because
I guess we'll have to see.
I mean, maybe if the world's not on fire anymore by next summer, we'll have another Comic-Con. We'll have San Diego Comic-Con, and we'll hear casting news. Everybody wants Jim from The Office to be Reed, and they want his wife Emily Blunt to be Invisible Woman, which I'm fine with that.
Well, I've been hearing that name tied to that even before they cast the last Fantastic Four movie, Emily Blunt. Like her name's been attached to Sue Storm for like almost 10 years now.
Yeah, she was almost Black Widow.
Yeah, she was. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, she literally was almost Black Widow, and she had to drop out because of a contract with Fox, and she had to end up making Gulliver's Travels instead. And that's one thing
that worked out well for you, didn't it, Emily?
Oh no! Well, I mean, here's the thing. That's one thing I didn't know about contracts because I didn't know if you signed up to do a contract with a certain studio, you had to do another film after that for that studio. That's one thing I didn't know. I remember reading an article about it. I thought it was pretty interesting.
I know.
Not the movie, the article.
Yeah, of course. A lot of contracts, they have different stipulations and stuff like that, so, and things have to be followed through. That's one thing about signing a contract. You really have to. That's why before I sign anything, I got to have a lawyer or somebody present for a second opinion or something. I can't just sign something on the spur of the moment at the drop of a dime. I can't do that. That's bad.
And then John Krasinski, wasn't almost, but he screen tested to be Captain America. I mean, he actually tried on a suit, and he said literally right after he saw Chris Hemsworth without a shirt on, he's like, "Yeah, I ain't doing this." So
he's like, "That's my chance. There's my chance. Fuck out of here."
So I mean, we're happy with what we got. Chris Evans made a great Captain America. Scarlett is a great Black Widow. So I mean,
oh yeah,
there's always that what if. But anywho,
Scarlett Johansson makes me hot.
Oh yeah, I love Scarlett as Black Widow. So we're all happy with the choices we have.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely happy.
But and also they announced more news. Black Widow is going to stay in the theatrical. It's not going to come out on Disney Plus, which I think there might be a change in that pretty soon.
I think so too.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is coming.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know when that's coming. I forgot when that's coming out. Eternals, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They announced Rachel McAdams is coming back as the role she played in the first movie, which is good. I liked her in the first movie. Thor: Love and Thunder. They announced Christian Bale is playing Bor, the God Butcher.
Yeah.
So we're
is Thor gonna be fat in this still?
Oh no, he's gonna get back in shape.
Okay, good. Fat Thor, I don't know, man. That's a little off-putting, man. I'm not used to that.
I'll admit, when I saw him fat, I was just like, why? And then you realize, oh, they're trying to humanize Thor. He deals with depression even like us. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with fat Thor. And then in the final fight scene, he basically looked like a kick-ass Viking with his beard, and he was able to fit in his suit, which I was like, okay, that's cool. And now Chris Hemsworth's getting jacked and just ripped to be not just Thor, but also to be Hulk Hogan.
Brother!
Let me tell you something, brother. You gotta be worthy to touch this hammer, dude. What are you gonna do when the son of Odin runs wild on you?
Alright, I wonder how they're gonna tell him that he has to do cocaine in order to get powered up to do a promo. Hogan style.
That's weird, because when I heard that news, I'm like, wait, what? They're making a Hulk Hogan movie? The guy who made the Joker movie is making a Hulk Hogan movie?
That's crazy.
Oh, man. I don't know how that's going to... I mean, I'll watch it. It's going to be on Netflix. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. But, what was next? Oh, and then Christian Bale. Christian Bale in a Marvel movie. It's going to be interesting.
Definitely interesting.
That's
a big get.
So Black Panther 2, we already talked about. Blade, they didn't really say too much about it. They just said they're in development with Mahershala Ali playing the lead.
That's my guy right there. That's one of my favorite actors right there.
Yes, this will be his third Marvel project. Because he was in Luke Cage.
Yeah, Cottonmouth.
He was in like 6 episodes, but he was like the best part of it. And
Yes, he was. They just killed him off and pissed me off in the process. Because I thought Diamondback was just fucking. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you thought about Diamondback, but I hated Diamondback.
I actually liked Diamondback. I didn't like the suit, but I liked him.
Oh, he's goofy. It was goofy, man. Whereas Cottonmouth, I felt where he was coming from. I guess is that part where you can kind of relate to him a little bit. And I was just like, man, I feel this guy, and I kind of feel what he's doing. But Diamondback, he just came in, and I don't know, man. I just didn't take him seriously as a villain, you know?
His voice, trying to do his best impression of Ice-T from the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And then the suit didn't help make matters much better, for me. So I was just like, yeah, I'm good on Mr. Diamondback there.
I don't know.
Great actor, though. Guy's a great actor.
I mean, he didn't bother me, but yeah, he was in that. He was Mahershala Ali. He was also in Spider-Verse. He was the Prowler.
Yeah, Prowler.
So I mean,
one of the greatest themes in Marvel movie history.
Yeah, like I always say, like if I was like 8 years old and I saw that character, I would be freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, the Prowler, especially the way they portrayed it in that movie.
Yeah, he was almost he was also like a horror movie monster.
Yeah, the way he was snooping around, ooh, hey, and
I don't know
sneaking up on Miles.
I don't know if he sounded like that, but
no, I'm talking about the theme music that they were playing. The kind of with the elephant horns and shit like that. They was really trying to make him seem like he was like you said, a horror movie character, just snooping around and shit, and he popping out of nowhere with his claws and shit. You're like, God damn, Prowler.
Yeah, the thing was dope.
Yeah, it was, and they definitely did a good job of making that character feel a whole lot more important. And then when he died, you're like, God damn it!
It's like it's supposed to be Uncle Ben. God damn it!
Yeah, no, right? It's supposed to be Uncle Aaron. This not Uncle Ben. Shit.
But yeah, him as Blade, I'm fine. Like about the story about him becoming Blade, right?
Not too deep into it, but.
The story is that he actually called Marvel Studios. He called Kevin Feige and said, "Hey, I want to set up a meeting." And they, he showed up at Marvel Studios and said, "I want to play Blade." And they just said, "Okay." Okay, you can play Blade.
Because they realized they fucked up by killing his character off of Luke Cage.
It's like, God damn it, we replaced Wesley Snipes with sticky fingers. We need to redeem that.
Oh, God.
That
was awful.
That show was so bad. I watched maybe 5-10 minutes of like that series, and I went, what the fuck is this shit?
Wait a minute. Because that show hadn't been on in a long time. You can find it anymore. But wasn't Neil Patrick Harris on that show?
I don't.
Or am I tripping?
I don't fucking remember. I really don't remember anything about that show. I just know
that show came out. Yeah, Sticky Fingers and the Red Ranger from Power Rangers SPD was in it. That Blade came out when I was leaving 5th grade, going ready to get into 6th grade.
It was in
so
06.
I definitely remember that. Yeah, it's 06. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
It was supposed to be like happening after the 3rd Blade.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they didn't bring back Wesley Snipes. But yeah, it was just that show was so bad. Let's not even,
it was.
Let's not even talk about it.
Even a 12-year-old RJ knew that it was bad.
Let's
how
not
bad
even
it was.
talk about it anymore. But yeah, Mahershala Ali is Blade. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know if they're going to make it rated R or like give it that hard PG-13. Because Blade is a very Blade's a very dark character. Like
yeah, it is.
I don't know if you can make him PG-13. I don't know if you can give him that almost rated R kind of vibe, but
no. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What you can do,
right?
And I've said this about characters like this, characters like Daredevil. That's why you have two cuts.
Right.
For those who might not want to see all the violence and want to see, want to hear all the cursing and this, that, and the other, because there are people like me, myself personally, I really don't care to see too much bloody violence anymore because I've seen too much of it in person.
Right.
I don't even want to see it anymore in movies and shit like that. So I shy away from certain movies that I know get out of hand with it. So for just keeping that in mind, like, this is why I think you should make two cuts. And this is why certain movies do make certain cuts, that cut out violence and they'll cut out, not cut it out, but they'll tone it down a little bit in one cut and then have it turned all the way up in another cut. They could do something like that. Okay, here we have a PG-13 version of it, and then we have a rated R version of it. They should consider doing something like that for Daredevil, if they choose to ever put it back in the theaters again. Or and the Punisher 2, and also what else? What's another movie? If they ever want to do Ghost Rider again and make it, ham it up and do a rated R version of that, they could consider doing that for that as well. Like, why not have multiple cuts?
Well, here's the thing. I see it is because Disney has done rated R movies in the past, but just not under that Disney umbrella. Because
right, they'll use another company.
They own a shit ton of property. They own. I mean, now they own what used to be Fox Studios, and now it's called 20th Century Studios. So, like with Deadpool, the Deadpool 3 movie, Ryan Reynolds already announced is at Marvel Studios, and Mission Wrestling Soup, he put up something on Twitter saying, kind of voicing his own opinion, saying that it's going to be toned down and watered down. And it's going to have bad jokes. It's going to have woke jokes, which I just kind of shared on. I'm like, dude, it's still going to be rated R because the way I see it, Ryan Reynolds would not be a part of it if he knew it was going to be stupid and corny, because he's not just going to star in it. He's going to be part of the writing team. So there's no way in hell Ryan Reynolds would agree to do that if he knew the movie, if they were going to fuck with it. And they've already said it's going to be rated R.
Yeah.
And the way they can do it is that they can release it not just under the Marvel Studios umbrella, under the 20th Century Studios umbrella. Right.
And, you can wash your hands clean then.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, these Marvel movies are not exactly kid-friendly. Because
of course, they have their fair share of curse words in it and shit like that. And, and hey, that's cool. Like, I mean, that's fine. And it's, you can have a shock moment in a movie where, somebody gets their head blown off or somebody drops an F-bomb or something like that. That's fine. There's nothing against that. You know how many PG-13 movies have certain F-bombs in it? Like, I mean, it happens. It happens.
It's like, you said something kind of interesting where you said there can be different cuts. That I had said a while back, with Deadpool and the Punisher, have those movies be different depending on where they're at. Like in the comics, when the Punisher is with the Avengers, you see him wearing that costume, that black costume with the white gloves. When he's by himself, he's completely hard R. He's his F-bombs. There's even like racial slurs in the comic books, in the Max series. Same thing with Deadpool. When he's with the Avengers, he's still kind of a goof. But when he's by himself, you see all those, F-bombs and curse words being dropped. So that's the way you can do it. If you're going to put Deadpool and the Punisher with the Marvel characters, they're going to be toned down because they're in that universe. But when they're in their own world, they're going to be dealing with their own shit. They're going to be dealing with their own type of language and type of people and type of violence and type of problems. So that's the best way you can do it. Like, same thing with Daredevil. He's going to be dealing with his own his own darker characters and his own world. But, and what we're about to, I guess this is the best way to segue into, if he ends up, if the announcement comes out that, Charlie Cox is returning as Daredevil, if he's going to be in Spider-Man 3, he's going to be a little bit more toned down because he's in he's in the Spider-Man, world. He's going to be dealing with his problems as opposed to, 2-bit gangsters, drug dealers, child molesters. He's going to be dealing with the more law side of things. So, and that's the best way to segue. Spider-Man 3. It just seems like every week we're getting new news. Like, this character is coming back. This character is coming back. They announced that Alfred Molina is coming back as Doc Ock, from Spider-Man 2, which I'm happy about because I love this character. They announced that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are coming back, and they supposedly showed photos of Tobey Maguire showing up in Atlanta, the film, to fit in his costume. They said that Jake Gyllenhaal was coming back. They said Kirsten Dunst and Emma Stone might be coming back. They announced that Willem Dafoe might be coming back, which I'm.
Oh my God! Give me that.
They announced that Thomas Hayden Church is coming back as Sandman. So, like, what the fuck?
Oh, jeez.
They haven't said anything about James. They haven't said anything about James Franco for obvious reasons. But this movie, for lack of a better term, is going to be huge. Huge. I mean, they're doing the same thing with Thor, Thor, Love and Thunder, because they have the Guardians showing up. But this is going to be huge because this sets up what people have been wanting is the live action Spider-Verse, which going back to WandaVision is going to connect into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and then Spider-Man kind of deals with opening up that multiverse, and then Doctor Strange has to pretty much patch everything up in his sequel. And he's actually going to be in a Spider-Man 3. They officially announced that. I think Tom Holland's going to be in Doctor Strange 2 as well. So
yeah, I heard something like that too.
It's weird that it's going to happen in Part 3 because personally, here's how I booked it. After I saw Spider-Man, after I saw Far From Home, and all the craziness that happened, I pitched the idea of what if, since now Peter Parker is on the lam and now he's a fugitive on the run, what if he needs legal help? Not Stephen P. Not Stephen P. New. What if he needs
Stephen P. New?
Not that guy. Well, what if he needs legal help? What if he ends up meeting a lawyer that could sympathize with him about somebody that is, working under a mask, but gets mixed up in some trouble, and then he runs into Matt Murdock,
right?
Like in the comic book, in the cartoon, especially in the cartoon, where Spider-Man,
where he got framed.
Yeah, he's framed, and then Matt Murdock shows up in the Spider-Man costume to prove that he's innocent. Yeah. So now we got possibly Charlie Cox showing up, and now we have to. And the other idea I pitched is that the Sinister Six have now formed, and they beat the ever living piss out of Spider-Man. Like they beat the shit out of him, and so Spider-Man is all bruised and battered, and pan to a scene with him talking to MJ. MJ's helping him get, healed up. And out of nowhere, you just see a portal open. And it's Doctor Strange. And he says, sorry, I couldn't help but hear your conversation. And he says, I might be able to be of some assistance. I've been traveling the multiverse. I've seen a lot of new faces. I've seen a lot of old faces. I've seen a lot of people that kind of look like you. You might want to ask for some help. Not me, because I gotta deal with this shit. But come with me. I got something to show you. So then he takes him to the multiverse and shows him the different Spider-Men or the different Spider people in the different worlds. He sees them. He sees Toby. He sees Andrew. He sees Gwen Stacy. He sees Venom. And Spider-Man 4 could be the Sinister Six versus the Spider-Man. And it would consist of Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Hardy, Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen, and Charlie Cox. 6-on-6 tag. A 6-on-6 tag match, player.
Holla, holla, holla.
Holla, holla, holla. So that would be my idea for Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4. Overall, what are your whole thoughts about the whole casting rumors and everything that could possibly go down?
Well, you know me, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I think
Right.
anybody that follows me on Twitter or social media period knows how much Spider-Man puts a smile on my face. Even at the age of 26 years old, I can still never get too big for Spider-Man. So the rumors about all these guys coming back to band together for one big giant film sounds good. Not the biggest fan of Andrew's Spider-Man, but it's all good. Kirsten Dunst,
Yeah.
she made me hate Mary Jane.
I'm
I'm not too jazzed about that either. But I mean, as far as what's her name, Emma Stone coming back as Gwen Stacy, I don't mind that. Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus and Willem Dafoe possibly coming back. Oh man, I'm definitely down with all that. Definitely down with all that. And if they make it right and they make the story make sense and don't try to shove and cram too much stuff in it without having certain characters and certain stories developed, then I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. But they just have to let everything breathe and grow and develop right. That was the main problem with Spider-Man 3. They shoved and crammed everything in there and didn't let characters get enough time to breathe and grow, especially Venom.
Well, it
hurt that movie a lot.
It was also studio middling because I remember Sam Raimi had said it was a lot of studio middling because he had already written a script for Spider-Man 3, and then the studio said, "How about you add Venom in it?" And he's like, he's not in the script. I already wrote the script." It's like, "Well, we want Venom in it." It's like, okay. And he openly admitted that he kind of half-assed the movie because he was making a movie that he didn't believe in.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely seen the interview.
So, and then
which it sucked for us. It sucked for us.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be like 5 Spider-Man movies with Tobey. Because the fourth one was going to have Vulture and Felicia Hardy in it.
Yeah, as the Vultress. What the fuck is that?
No. She was going to be no. Vulture was going to be John. What is his name? Why am I forgetting?
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich, and Anne Hathaway was going to be Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat.
No, but they said that she wasn't going to be the Black Cat. That she was going to be a new character, the Vultress.
Are you sure? Because I heard Black Cat.
Yeah. Look that up, man.
I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I'm not saying you're lying. I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, that was gonna suck. Exactly, Maurice. You're right.
Well,
when is the Black Cat hatred gonna be? When is the Black Cat hate gonna stop? You know what I'm saying?
Technically, she came out in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Technically, big technically.
Oh, you're not gonna count that. She had black hair.
Well, her name was Felicia Hardy. Or her name was Felicia, but we know she... You know what's funny? The first conversation you and me had was about Black Cat. Because I remember I put something on Twitter where I put, I think Felicia Hardy was better for Peter than MJ. Because I
thought so too.
I didn't like MJ in the cartoon or in the movies. Because I always liked Felicia Hardy in the cartoon, and I always liked Gwen Stacy. Because... my girl, who's like the biggest Spider-Man nut, that's one thing she always pointed out was like, Sam Raimi must have followed the cartoon more because in the comics, Peter meets Gwen first, and then Green Goblin kills her, or technically Peter kills her.
Peter killed her,
and then he ends up meeting MJ. He ends up meeting MJ in college. In the Amazing Spider-Man movie, say what you want about him. I liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I just thought everything around him was not very good. I liked Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy.
I did too.
The first one they did, I thought was good. The second one, again, was just very crammed. Because it was just like...
Oh, yeah, that was a big mess.
Here's Green Goblin. Here's Rhino for 5 seconds. It's like, what? But
why, though?
It's like, why is he there? It's like that big fight scene they show in the trailer is literally the end of the movie.
Exactly. That was bad.
I remember when that happened, me and my girl and her sister were like, Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, me and my brother went to go see that. And I remember when it was happening, I was like, okay, well, he's going to fight Rhino, right? And then, the last thing you see is him swinging that thing at Rhino's head, and then, dan, 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 dan. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, what? No follow up on that? Did Peter kill Rhino? Like, what the hell happened?
It's like
That shit was very weird.
Easiest payday that Paul Giamatti ever had.
Oh, you best believe it. Because he only had to speak Russian and drive a fucking truck in the beginning of the movie, and then show up at the end and play around in the Rhino costume.
It's like Oscar-nominated actor Paul Giamatti. It's like, let's bring him in for like less than 5 minutes.
Exactly. Good God. Yeah, you ain't lying. That's the easiest gig of his career right there.
But, I mean, the best way I'll describe all the Spider-Mans is like, Tobey was a good Peter Parker. Because he played that good nerdy, he had that nerdy quality for him. He just felt like a bitch to me, man. Like, looking back on it, I'm like, dude, come on. Like, he was so bitched out, you know? Well, I mean, that's kind of where I was going, is because he wasn't a good Spider-Man because he wasn't very quippy enough to be Spider-Man. He didn't really have that personality to be him. Andrew, I thought, was a good Spider-Man because he had the look. They definitely played off of like the Ultimate Spider-Man, even though the movie was called Amazing Spider-Man. But Tom, and these are bold words, Tom, I think, is the better one out of all three of them, because out of all two of them, because he's like a combination of both, where he actually looks like a kid.
He has a youth.
Yeah, he's not. What's the word? He's not too good looking to where it's distracting. You know what I mean? Because Andrew Garfield was a, not to sound fruity or anything, but he was a good looking guy.
And he was too cool. He was too cool for school.
Yeah, like Tom Holland literally looks like a kid we went to school with.
Yeah, exactly.
And he acts like a kid. And I mean, he fits. He is Spider-Man. Like when you see him, it's like, okay, that's Spider-Man. That's Peter Parker. Like he's innocent enough. He's kind of a geek. He's fine in the world. I like him in the world. He actually is Spider-Man. Like that, it actually is Peter Parker, and not 27-year-old Tobey Maguire pretending that he's in high school. So. Yeah,
that was just weird, and you could look at his face and tell he had like a big beard too. So that didn't help matters none.
It's like Flash. It's like the scene in Spider-Man 2, which I like when they're on the subway and everyone helps them out, and then you hear someone say, "He looks like a kid." I'm like, no, he's not.
No, he's not. He's a grown-ass man. He was like 30 at that point, because I know he was like, I think he's like a year or two younger than my mother. So, because his birthday is like around the same time as ours, because me and my mom's birthday is like three days apart. So, yeah, his birthday is like around in that time. So, yeah, like, I was like, man, he was almost 30 at that point. So, like, what the fuck?
So, but yeah,
he looks like a kid.
Like, Tom actually does look like a kid. So
yeah, he does. He's got that baby face going on for him.
So, fuck. I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, yeah, Spider-Man 3. But, yeah, like, here's why I think Spider-Man 3, the Marvel Studios version won't fail the way, the Sony version did, which is, it technically is still a Sony film, but it's under Marvel Studios. It looks like there's no studio meddling going on.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
So, which Marvel Studios usually, and I do say usually doesn't do too much studio meddling, to the point where the movie becomes complete ass. Because if you didn't know, Edgar Wright was the original director for Ant-Man. And
yeah, of course, yeah.
He already wrote a script. I mean, Paul Rudd was already cast and a few other people, and he already wrote the script, but, I think he wanted it to be more of a standalone movie rather than a Marvel Studios universe movie. So that's why he ended up leaving the movie. And, Kevin Feige, in his words, saying it was probably the best script he's ever read. So that's one thing we'll never know. But we're going to have to wait until possibly next year to find out who's been cast and what, if Andrew and Tobey are going to show up. Personally, I would rather this be a surprise. Like, I want to be surprised when I go and watch the movie. Because
Yeah.
either way, I'm going to be happy to see Toby back as Spider-Man. I'm going to be happy to see Andrew back. I'll be happy to see all these other characters back. But I'd rather go into it and have that holy shit moment that we all saw when we watched Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, I wanna say holy shit when Cap, grabbed Mjolnir. Like, I want to say holy shit when fuck, what other holy shit moments? When everybody came out of those portals. Like, I want to have that moment with Endgame. Like, I don't want to know. I want to know, but not too much. I want to kind of know. I want to think that I'm thinking.
Right.
And
a suspension of disbelief.
Right. So, again, it's Spider-Man. I'm gonna be happy with the movie either way.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna find some way to enjoy it.
So, hopefully Tom Holland actually has a role in the movie. Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? That's another thing too that I'm kind of not liking about his series. And me and Monty kind of touched on it. That he never really get a chance to have Peter's problems. It seems like he always is. He's playing second banana to somebody, or he's cleaning up somebody else's mess.
Right, because the first one, Robert Downey Jr. Again, we talked about easiest payday. Robert Downey junior got $10 million just to come out for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Movie. And then the second one was basically about him cleaning up, Iron Man's messes, with making Mysterio, was an ex, Stark employee, which I get that. I mean, I was okay with it, but it was just like, again, you're right, we need to get a movie where we're actually dealing with Peter's problems and not just him having
Tony Stark.
Right, and
now it's both movies, honestly. He don't forget why the Vulture became the Vulture.
Right.
So in both movies, he's cleaning up Tony Stark's mess.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully 3 isn't as crammed as we think it is. Like, at the end of the day, this is Tom's new movie, because I doubt the whole movie is going to be exactly about Toby and Andrew, and this is going to be about something maybe Peter did. So Tom. Tom is Peter, but I don't know. It's the movie doesn't come out until I believe next year, next December. So we're gonna find out some news,
which is gonna be weird because I'm not gonna be used to a winter Spider-Man movie like that. I mean, we did get Spider-Verse, 2 years ago around the winter time, but like, as far as a live action movie, it's gonna kind of be weird to go to the theaters in December.
And maybe that's where they're going. I mean, they want to make those Christmas big bucks. Maurice is saying December 17th, 2021. Literally a year from now.
Wow.
Tomorrow will be December 17th. So we're going to have to wait a year to see. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, the world isn't on fire anymore. Hopefully, things are back to normal-ish. So,
somewhat stable.
Somewhat stable. So, hopefully we're able to, get on an airplane, go to Comic-Con, go to a movie theater, which, you still are, but, we can't really see anything new. But
right.
But yeah, that's all the Marvel news. That's all the movie news. How long have we talked? We've talked for almost 2 hours, and we've barely talked about wrestling. And by barely, I mean we haven't. So.
Yep.
But, yeah, and like I mentioned about NXT, I came home right when the Dunn and O'Reilly match was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had a number of contenders match to see who would face Finn at a New Year's Evil, which, I had Kevin Castle on the show last week, and I kind of pitched that, well, not kind of, but I did. I said, yeah, I don't think we're going to get Cross and Finn until, maybe was it the takeover before Mania? Because, you can't, you can throw Cross into the mix already, but it's better to maybe marinate him a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because he was already getting over, and then he got hurt. He's still over, but you can't just throw him back into the title picture already. You gotta,
you gotta clean him up a little bit first.
You gotta build that feud, and also, the devil versus the demon. Like that's the best way to build that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as predicted, yeah, we're getting Finn, or not Finn. We're getting Finn and O'Reilly as a rematch, which I'm a little perplexed because I thought I was almost sure we were getting Gunn and Finn. Because that's the dream match that people want. So we're getting O'Reilly and Finn again, which I'm interested because one of two things could happen.
Right.
I'm getting the feeling that possibly O'Reilly might end up winning, and here's why. Because last week when I had Kevin on, he threw out the idea of Adam Cole going to the main roster, and what this would do to the Undisputed Era is that Adam Cole would tell O'Reilly, "All right, you're in charge now," because if anyone's going to the main roster, it's Adam Cole, because they're not going to take Kyle O'Reilly or Bobby Fish is Bobby Fish is 44. If anyone,
he's 44 years old, and his body is falling apart because he can't seem to be healthy or stay healthy at all.
Yeah, and there's
every
no
time
chance,
you turn around, this man's out with an injury.
Right, and there's no chance in hell that Roderick Strong is going to be on Vince McMahon's television. So
Not cutting promos the way he does.
The way because me and Kev talked back and forth about it, which was O'Reilly would be the new leader of the Undisputed Era. Keep O'Reilly, keep Fish, but at the same time recruit some young blood, recruit some newer members. Adam Cole would just be on the main roster doing his own thing, but it would be like a thing of we're on two different rosters, but I'm still gonna have love for the Undisputed Era. I'm still gonna show some love for the Undisputed Era. Those are my boys, but I can't be the leader anymore because I'm on the bigger things. They're gonna take up more of my time. So now that O'Reilly is getting this big push, O'Reilly's going to be the new leader, and they would bring in newer guys. I don't know who they would bring in, but they're bringing newer guys. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if O'Reilly is going to get the strap, because at this point I don't think they would want Finn as the champion, because Finn, again, he's no spring chicken.
No.
And the point of NXT is to build the superstars of tomorrow, today. And Finn also is a little bit injury prone, so they need a champion who's actually going to be there every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think O'Reilly might end up getting the title. I think.
Hey, O'Reilly is not exactly clean as far as the injuries go either.
Right. No, yeah, you're not wrong about that. But it's like he's also young. He's also on the young side. They need younger blood for the NXT. So,
Kyle O'Reilly's actually I think Kyle O'Reilly's like 34.
Really? Hold on. Let me check this out.
Mm-hmm. If Adam
Kyle
Cole's
O'Reilly
30,
age.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right. He's 33. Some means he's older than Adam Cole's actually my age. He's 31.
Yeah, Adam Cole, he's the younger side of the group.
Okay, then that completely negates everything I just said.
Yeah.
But, so if he's getting another rematch, I guess the thought process is he's kind of has to win if he's getting another rematch.
Yeah, I don't see the need of giving him another match for him to fail again, unless a big angle with him is going to pop off. Do you think they do the bit where Roderick Strong turns on him and costs him the match?
I don't know. I really don't know, because you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe what happened, maybe they can do like an evolution thing where after Randy won the title, Triple H beat the shit out of him. Maybe that's what they do with Kyle. Scenario is either whether he wins or loses, or in this situation he wins, and then Adam Cole, congratulates him on the next show, and then him and O'Reilly and not O'Reilly, him and Fish and Strong just beat the shit out of him, and they do the whole.
Won't be Fish. Fish ain't gonna be there for a while. He's injured again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then, they do the whole. This is my belt. I'm the champion.
He's young Triple H.
You're not the champion, Kyle. But I mean, he's not gonna say that. But he'll be like, this is my title. I'm the champ, not you. You turn your back on me when you decided to be a main eventer. It'll just be a jealousy thing of, I'm the head honcho in charge, not you. You've been trying to take my spot since day one, Kyle. Ever since you joined this group, and that's the way you can possibly, write off Adam, joining the main roster.
By having O'Reilly beat him in a feud.
Yeah, and that's a way you can make O'Reilly a star. Take the biggest star that NXT has, which is Adam Cole, to put over O'Reilly before he has to go to the main roster.
Yeah,
and
that's fine. Hey, and like Kevin Castle say all the time, when you're on your way out, you got to do the honors.
I mean, which personally I wouldn't mind either. I wouldn't mind the first scenario that Kevin pitched, which is Adam is going to the main roster and he puts Cal in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Or take Kevin's idea and kind of add a twist to it, which is, but before I go, I want to have one last match, and that's with you, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So put that title on the line. You can do something like that. So either way, each scenario we're going to be getting Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. So and then that's a money match. I mean, I use that term a lot, but in this case it works. That's a money matchup.
It would be. Those guys have so much chemistry and so much history with each other that us wrestling fans would get it, even if WWE doesn't want to tell the full blown story behind that team and Ring of Honor and everything like that. Like, there's so much history and so much stuff they can literally tell between those two guys, and including the great match they had with each other at Best in the World 2012, where Kyle O'Reilly kicked the dog shit out of Adam Cole and took some teeth and busted his face all open and everything. Like, that was a brutal match that he had in New York.
Right.
Yeah. And they could tear it down once again, so I definitely would not have a problem with that whatsoever.
And then speaking of money matchup, you and Monty touched base on it. I was listening to the show last week where, you guys were like me. I think you guys are a little bit more excited than me, but, you guys are salivating at the thought of, Priest versus Cross.
Right.
Which I'm happy for this. I'm happy, that Priest is finally going to work with someone his size.
Yes.
Because again, Priest is a star. He
is.
No offense to Leon Rubb, no offense to Johnny Gargano. Well, offense to Johnny Gargano because I'm tired of this. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, me too. They're like two grade school kids fighting with a grown man.
But yeah, Priest and Cross. This is money because they're two big guys. They're two behemoths. They're two stars, and they're finally gonna have a match. They're two ass kickers. They're two guys that actually look like grown men.
Yeah, talk like them too.
Yeah, especially
and they're both cool.
Yeah,
both cool.
They both look like rock stars. They both look like rival singers of rock bands that are going to beat the shit out of each other after a
yeah.
So Cross, I'm glad to see Cross was in action tonight against Desmond. What was his name? Desmond.
Angelo Dawkins Light.
Okay, we'll go with that. Which I'm just like, I forgot how much of a freak, as far as like a physical freak, Cross is, because this guy I think was probably bigger than Cross, and Cross is just throwing him around the ring like he's nothing. So that was just amazing to see. So, and then Cross gets on the mic and calls Damian Priest out saying, your ass is mine. And I think he made like a little subtle shot at Finn Balor saying, I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm. TikTok.
So we're getting Priest and Cross at New Year's Eve on January the 6th, so that show's going to be huge.
Yeah. So, Eric, can I ask you something real quick?
Go ahead.
So you think that matchup between Priest and Cross is the beginning of Damian Priest's swan song in NXT?
I think so, because who else is Damian Priest? Who else is left for Damian Priest to face? Because he's basically a main roster star.
Yeah.
And also, January the Royal Rumble's coming up, so
Exactly.
I
The
imagine
time just adds up.
I imagine him showing up in the Rumble. That more than likely could be his last match on NXT. I mean, because it kind of really sells itself because he's pretty much went up against everybody in NXT, so he'll more than likely show up a few weeks later in the Rumble. So that kind of is the writing on the wall.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
It'll be a good ass kicking match between him and Cross.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another big matchup that or pre-match that they've already teased, but they haven't necessarily announced, but it's more than likely going to happen. Is you got Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez, which we didn't really get to talk about Takeover, but Raquel, I mean they're really putting the gas behind her, and rightly so because she has very much improved. Which I can't really say she's improved because she hasn't really had too many matches, but for somebody who hasn't had too many matches, she's gotten better with each match because I know DT. DT was the one who said this on the show when she debuted on Takeover Portland.
Mm-hmm.
She was in NXT for 5 years, and she wasn't on television as far as I know. She's basically into training for 5 years, and then she debuts on Takeover, and since then she's only really had a handful of matches, and she's actually not that bad. She's actually very good, especially her match with Rhea on Halloween Havoc, which was the match of the night, and then Takeover War Games was her coming out party.
Yeah,
and they obviously see something in her, and deservedly so. She's very good. She is very good. It's good to see another big woman in the company. Hopefully we'll get more of those. Obviously ones that can actually work, not ones that are very green. And
yeah, and to about her being statutorily developmental for 5 years, that's a good thing. Maybe if you would have followed that blueprint with Nia Jax, maybe she wouldn't be out here hurting the chicks and everything like that, and putting them on the injury reserve list for a couple of weeks and this, that, and the other, left and right.
Right, and so you asked me this, so I'm going to ask you the same question. So with her and Rhea more than likely facing off at New Year's Evil, do you think that could be Rhea's swan song in NXT?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Right. Yeah, because at this,
I thought Rhea's swan song should have been against Io, and that was it. But for whatever reason, they're still stringing her along, and I'm just like, okay, well, that's why I hated tonight that Raquel Gonzalez interfered to help Rhea, or to help Tony beat Rhea. I didn't really like that all that much. Like, why not just give Tony a solid win over Rhea Ripley without interference,
Well,
especially if she's gonna, because, I mean, it looks like her time is winding down, so why not let Tony get a clean win over her? Tony beat her before clean. Come on.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because, Tony's the heel and Rhea's the face, and, with this storyline they're doing with Rhea and Raquel, Raquel is going to go whatever way to fuck with Rhea. But, by any means, so she's going to cost her matches, she's going to...
But here's the thing, though.
Not looking good.
Here's the thing, though. Raquel Gonzalez pinned Io Shirai at the War Games. Why the fuck does she care about Rhea Ripley and what she's doing right now? Shouldn't she be focused on Io Shirai?
They still have beef, because they had that match at, technically it was Takeover, Halloween Havoc, and there was that stare down after the show, so they still have unfinished business. That's the way I see it.
I'd be like, fuck Rhea Ripley. I want the title. Well, Io Shirai, get your little short ass out here. Let's do this damn thing.
Again,
that's what I'd be like.
Again, unfinished business. So she wants to tie up loose ends before she goes after the big dog, so to speak.
Yeah, and well, her trying to tie up loose ends is gonna probably end up with her losing too, which probably leading to their blow off match. Because I don't know, it's gonna be weird. Rhea Ripley's not gonna let that go.
I don't know.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they sometime between now and then they announce a title match between Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai. And Maurice says he thinks Raquel Gonzalez is going to get the title before Mania.
Yeah, well,
Oh, jeez.
what I was gonna say, it's like Kevin said, when you're heading to the main roster, you gotta kind of do the honors and put over people. So
Yeah.
I think that's what
Which I ain't got no problem with that at all. Like, I have no problem with that at all. I don't care to see the rematch. Honestly, I don't really care to see it again.
I'm all for it. Because that New Year's Eve it's shaping up to be a lot of last matches of people before they go to the main roster. If Rhea shows up in the Rumble, she's gonna win it, or she has to win it.
That's what my brother was telling me in my ear. He was like, "Man, if she really does show up in the Rumble, she's gonna win it, don't you think?" And I was like, "She kind of has to. She kind of has to. Otherwise, it's gonna be a waste."
There's really no ifs, ands, or buts. Like if she shows up, she has to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm booking the show, it's going to come down to her and Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhea's going to win. Like that's pretty much it. Yes, Priest will probably show up in the Rumble. He won't win it. I'm cringing at the thought of what the WrestleMania title matches are going to be.
Oh God, I don't even want to talk about it because they just make me. From what I hear, with The Rock and Roman Reigns and fucking or The Rock or Roman Reigns and Goldberg, and then Edge and Orton. Give me a fucking break. What is this? 2003? Come on.
I mean, the way they see it is, it was supposed to be Goldberg and Roman last week, but then Roman decided, I have leukemia, so I can't be here. Which I don't mean to say that in a condescending way. More just like, I have a pre-existing health condition, and I really shouldn't be here at all. Like, so he decided to bounce, and they decided to give it to Braun. But anyway, you know how that usually works. Whenever it's rumored, and it ends up becoming a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was pretty much NXT. Now, let's get into TLC predictions and bounce out of here. Let me just pull up the matches. TLC is this Sunday. There might be more matches announced after Friday, but as of now, these are the matches. I'm going to go by the bottom one. Tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, versus the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin.
Mm-hmm. Now, was a match stipulation announced for this or no?
No, not yet. Because at the moment, because usually, I would think they would announce it on Raw, but at the moment, there's no stipulation. I really don't think this needs a stipulation, but again, if it's a gimmick pay-per-view, I think all the matches should have a stipulation at least. But
yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm with that too.
This could be a ladder match. This should be a ladder match, but can Shelton even really do a ladder match at his age? But
yeah. As long as Shelton doesn't have a microphone, I'm good.
Okay, good. But
holy shit, my man can't cut a promo. Good God. Oof.
And that's unfortunate about Shelton because he's someone that you see him and you go, okay, that's a star, and then you hear him talk and you're like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing that's always held him back is that his ability to cut a promo.
Yep.
Like I think if he could at least cut a decent promo, he could have been a world champion. But who are you picking for this match?
Oh man. Cedric Alexander has single-handedly beat both members of New Day.
Which means New Day is going to win.
Exactly. Going by WWE's logic.
Yeah,
because New Day's going to retain here.
So you're picking New Day?
Yes.
I kind of want the Hurt Business to win because.
Well, I want them to win. Trust me.
That's how I usually categorize things. Is what I want to happen, what I think will happen. Is I think they'll have the New Day win, which they don't really. New Day's at a point where they don't really need the tag titles. They could just win. They can win the tag titles just because, and then they can lose it and get it back later, which they really don't because the New Day are already over and they're successful. And the Hurt Business. it's weird because it seems like they want to make him into a thing, but then they don't. It's like the way they push this group, like they push him like they want to have him over, and then they don't really do anything with them because you look at this group and it's like they should have all the gold. Like they're out there, swinging their giant cocks and smacking people with them and saying, we're the Hurt Business and business is good. It's like, why don't they have any gold?
Yep.
So
why isn't Bobby Lashley out there trying to smack up, Drew McIntyre? Why isn't MVP doing anything? To set up a title match between himself or between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre? Like, you're right. Why aren't they pursuing the gold a whole lot more harder?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is Lashley still the U.S. champion, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that shows how much I watch Raw. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed if Alexander and Shelton won. But
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but I think New Day will probably win.
Yeah.
Next match, Women's SmackDown Championship match. Sasha Banks versus, I guess, the new Carmella. Singles match.
Ain't nothing different from the old one.
Hey, well, she's not wearing her hat backwards and doing a moonwalk that gets no reaction.
I can care less, honestly. Carmella, she's in that category when they're on wrestling or whatever, quote unquote wrestling. I gotta go get a drink or I gotta go to the bathroom, and it's nothing sexist about it. Like, I don't know if I explained it on this show, but I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on me and Monty's show and maybe even on my own. But like, there's certain performers that I'm always inclined to watch their matches, and then there's others that I just don't care about because I know they're not going to do anything for me, so I just leave. Or I go do something that I need to take care of. And Carmella's one of those people on that list. So she comes on my TV screen. I know it's going to be decent at best, or all right, or may at best. So I just dip.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know what her gimmick's supposed to be now. I guess she's supposed to be like the new boss or whatever. But yeah, I don't care for her. I mean, she looks.
Yeah.
I can't front. She actually does look. She does look pretty good. I can't front. But other than that, just bleh.
Carmella's not my type.
Yeah, she's not my type. I gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, she looks good, but yeah. Other than that, nah. That's really all I gotta say. Sasha Banks, I'm pulling for. I'm assuming
same.
you're pulling for Sasha. So.
Yeah.
Next match, you have a TLC match for the WWE Championship, WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens.
I'm going with the big dog. I think the head of the table, the tribal chief, the leader of the island of relevancy. Roman Reigns is getting their due here. Owens is they're rewarding Kevin Owens with a pay-per-view title match here for despite his concerns, his continued loyalty to show up to work and put on some quality stuff. So it's good to see that Owens is back in the title picture, and I think he's going to put Roman over. And Owens is the perfect guy to opposite Roman Reigns in this spot. Honestly, you look at Roman, and you look at Owens, like the matchup is just perfect. They have the same goal in mind,
right?
But they're two different people. Roman Reigns is this guy that's built like a Greek god, and he looks great. And Kevin Owens is this plump white man with tattoos. You know what I'm saying? That looks like the everyday man. So like the dynamic is perfect.
Yeah, and they always seem to have good chemistry with each other. They had that match at the Royal Rumble 3 years ago, which I was actually there for, live when it was in the Alamo Dome. That was that was probably Roman's best match that I've seen, and these two work well together. I mean, obviously, there's no chance that Owens is going to win. Like there really isn't.
No.
To my understanding, I think Roman might hold on to the title for a while, which it makes sense because
I'm good with that.
I mean, who else could really hold on to the title other than Roman? You know, Roman is the star. You know, he's the big dog. So
Yeah. He's doing big dog shit right now. You know,
doing big dog. That could possibly be a shirt that would never happen. The big dog doing big dog shit.
Shit. Like he told Samoa Joe, "Hey Joe, you ain't never seen no shit like this before."
Oh yeah,
I'm like, yo, Roman Reigns is great.
I love Monty. I love Monty posting those memes of Roman beating the shit out of Kevin, and he's just
Yeah, I know, right?
But
With the fucking do rag and shit.
I better not see no blood on my Jordans.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I love
That's
Monty.
a fucking disaster.
I love Monty.
Well,
He's good people.
That's my brose.
So yeah, Brosen. Yeah, Roman's winning this. Let's see. Next match: Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending the women's tag team championships against Asuka, and to be determined because Lana, I don't know if she has an actual injury or storyline that she was taken out. So Asuka is looking for a new partner, or I don't know if it's going to end up being a handicap match. So if she ends up finding a new partner, who do you think it will be?
Well, in a perfect world, I would love it to be Kairi Sane for like a one-off or something like that, but
Right.
it's WWE, so it might be Charlotte Flair. Which if it's Charlotte Flair, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, and if they win the titles, it's something different. It's something different for Charlotte Flair. She's never been in a tag team before and never been tag team champion. So, like, I mean, I wouldn't mind that or whatever. But knowing WWE, they'd probably go with somebody like a Mandy Rose or something like that. And I don't know. It's not going to be good either way. And I think that, I don't know, man. I don't even know who's going to win this match. Honestly, I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think either way, Baszler and Nia are going to hold on to the titles.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever they pick, I mean, it's not really going to matter because, like I mentioned earlier, it's who we would want, but also who WWE is going to want.
Yeah.
So either way, even if it is Kari, it could be Io, it could be Charlotte. Either way, I think Shayna and Nia are holding to those titles.
Yeah.
To make them look,
because
I guess to give them that, they're the kick-ass tag team of the women's division.
Yeah. And realistically, I would like for Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan to win those titles. They're the only true tag team that's really left that are, have been previously associated with each other. That makes sense to be, tag team champions. So I would actually like to see that instead of another makeshift tag team winning the belts again. But that's just me.
I wouldn't mind that because, I like Ruby Riott. I like Liv a lot more, especially after I saw, her documentary on the network. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, I did.
It made her come off as very likable, as a very sweet girl. It humanized her a little bit because, I mean, I don't know. We didn't really know too much about Liv Morgan. We just kind of live vicariously, through her on like social media. But she opened up a lot more and shows that she deals with heartache and she's human and she dealt with rejection. So I mean, I liked her in this. She came off good in this. She didn't come off as fake or vain. She, Paul Heyman, had said the reason why he gave her that push and gave her more TV time was that he says, I have a daughter and she'll tell me don't try and define me, don't try and tell me who I am. And that's what Liv is kind of like. She doesn't want to be defined. She wants to be her own character, and that's what makes her. That's why people kind of flock to her a little bit. And she's. Anytime I see her on screen, anytime I see her in a match, she always improves. Like she's gotten a lot better in the ring. So
yeah, you can tell her drive. You can just feel her passion in her drive. And I've always said that about her.
Yeah, it's like
and that's why she's a girl that's not as polished as maybe a Bailey or a Sasha or a Charlotte
right.
or an Asuka, but she's a girl that I will watch because I know that okay, she's gonna bust out something. She's gonna bust out a move or something that's gonna be like, okay, damn, okay, or she's gonna go out there, she's gonna try. You know what I'm saying? To grab my eye as a performer, not looks aside. Looks aside, she's gonna grab my eye as a performer. And and so I'll give her a shot.
And that's one thing I've always given her credit. Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's one thing I've always,
no, you're good.
That's one thing I've always given her credit for is that you can at least when she's out there, she at least tries to go out there and do something. Whereas Alexa Bliss has not improved at all. Like anytime, I don't even know how long it's been that she's been in a match, but Alexa Bliss is just anytime you see her wrestle, it's like she doesn't even try. It's like she's like, I'm just here to exist. Like I'm just here to look good in booty shorts. Whereas Liv Morgan is like, fuck it, I don't just want to be another pretty face. I actually want to go out there and try. I want to go out there and improve. I want to go out there and get my ass whooped. Case in point, when Brie Bella almost fucking knocked her head off. In that one match, or in the Elimination Chamber match when Shayna Baszler was just throwing her around the ring and smashing her head into those into that glass or plastic glass or what do you want to call it,
plexiglass.
It's like, Liv, you don't really need to do that, and she's like, no, I want to do it.
And when she took that hellacious bump at the TLC pay-per-view a couple of years ago too.
Yeah, like you can tell this girl actually wants to go out there and at least try. Like she wants to. And
that's effort.
Impress people. Same thing with someone like Mandy. Mandy, I get the feeling that Mandy actually wants to give an effort out there, and not just be a pair of tits and ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone like Alexa, which we'll be talking about in a bit, she is just someone who's just content with going out there and looking good.
Yeah.
Next match.
That's what I always say. What I always say about Alexa on that point is that Alexa's always said that she's a great actress, but you never hear me say anything about her in the ring.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why.
I agree. Next match, you got The Fiend versus Randy Orton. I haven't been watching Raw as much because I work and also I got better shit to do with my time. So can you explain in 2 minutes what the point of this feud is?
Well, from what I can understand is that Bray Wyatt's still upset about Randy Orton burning Abigail's house down.
Right.
Or the cabin or whatever the hell. And this is why he's fucked with Randy Orton. But then Randy Orton kind of flipped the switch on him a little bit. I found your weakness. I know the Fiend's weakness. And it's Alexa. And Alexa was in Randy Orton's arms a couple weeks ago, looking like a little child. And we hadn't seen her since. And then Randy Orton's been trying to, quote unquote, get in the head of Bray Wyatt by challenging him to a wrestling match last week, which ended up with the Fiend reappearing and choking Randy Orton out. And then this past Monday, Randy Orton lured Bray Wyatt into a trap while he was still in his normal Bray Wyatt get-up, locked him into a crate, and doused it in, kerosene and lit the whole bitch on fire. And then the Fiend just came popping out and choked him out again. So that's pretty much the whole premise of the feud. I don't know. I don't know.
So Randy Orton's going to win this match?
Oh, man. I don't know.
I'll answer for RJ on this. We're both going to pick Randy Orton. Moving on, main event.
But here's the thing, though. Like, you set the man on fire, and he still popped up. What the hell is going to hurt this man at TLC that's going to be so horrible? And it's not for a belt either. Like, so I don't know. I don't get it.
Bring out Goldberg to do a very poorly done jackhammer.
The Jackbuster.
The Jackbuster. That's the only way you can beat the Fiend now. Is do a
The Jackbuster.
Is to do a bad. Is to have a 55-year-old man do a bad Jackbuster, as Archie called it.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, who are you picking to win that match? By the way,
I want to go with Bray, but he's dominated Randy for the last couple of weeks. I don't know. Alexa has been off of TV for a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if she interfered here. But and maybe they do a rematch at the Rumble where Bray competes as normal Bray. I don't know. It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess. I don't even know. I don't even know how to predict this because it's a mess.
Yeah.
It started off good, but it turned into a mess.
So in other words, Randy's gonna win.
Yeah. I don't even fucking know. No.
Anyways, main event. TLC match for the WWE Championship. You got Drew McIntyre, the champ, defending against AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something I read. So,
right.
We got about 26 minutes, so I'll try to speed it up. 26 minutes before we get cut off the air. So, Monday's Raw apparently was the lowest rated Raw in history, or one of the lowest rated Raws. It was 1.5.
Right.
And the talk is that Vince McMahon is thinking of ways to shake things up.
Oh God, here we go.
Shake it up. We're gonna give you what you want. We're gonna give you what you want. I think you were here on the show. Yeah, you're on the show with Kevin where he talked about that Drew McIntyre passed up Seth Rollins as the lowest rated champion.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right.
I think that they're thinking of something to do to kind of boost up the ratings for the next night. So possibly Miz could cash it in, but I don't even know if that would do anything.
That's not going to help.
Or, I mean, as much as I love AJ is not going to do anything for ratings.
Nah, none of those guys are going to move the needle. And Goldberg is not the answer either. Okay.
I mean,
good Lord.
At this point, what can you do to boost the ratings? Like, what can you honestly do? Because, I mean, Brock's not going to leave his house for less than $10 million.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't bring back The Rock because The Rock is making like 10 things right now.
Yeah. Cena's away.
In a perfect world, if the Lazarus Pit existed, you could take everybody from yesteryear and de-age them and make them younger again. That's like the best. You can make Steve Austin 30 again. You can make him a top guy. You can make Bret Hart younger again. You can make Sting younger again. You can make everybody younger again. That's the best way you can boost back ratings. Other than that,
is Russian Edge back on TV going to do something? I don't know.
Russian Edge.
Well, I don't know if that's going to help none.
I really don't. And then there's the whole news about, Vince throwing a fit and sending, Keith Lee, Otis, and I think like 2 other people back to the Performance Center because they need to get better.
Mason Dabakato that's Vince's own fault. Why are you calling these guys up? I mean, Mace, Mace trained with Booker T and everything like that. He's all right.
Right.
I'm kind of confused by that report, honestly. Because it made it seem like, all those guys are on his shit list and that they were all getting demoted and this, that, the other. And Mace beat Ricochet in it wasn't a great match, but it wasn't bad either. So, like, I don't know. I'm very, very confused. And then Keith Lee had the match with Morrison, and it was reported that Wade Keller said that Vince McMahon told Miz and Morrison to kind of blow up Keith Lee to kind of test his cardio.
Well,
Did you hear about that?
I didn't actually.
Yeah.
I think the thing that might be the issue is that Vince is getting tired of big guys working like cruiserweights, and which
is fine. I'm with that too. Like, why are you hitting tope suicidas and shit like that? Like, right. No, and that's my problem with a lot of the guys in AEW too. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a big guy that can move and be mobile. But come on, man, like save all the moonsaults and the suicide, save all that for the younger guy, or not the younger guys, but the smaller guys. Like, come on, man. Like Luchasaurus, seeing his big goofy ass out there doing a rope step tope suicida and shit like that, you know, where you know damn well if you know a slight miscalculation happens and he bangs the back of his knee on a guardrail, you know, he's gonna be out for like 10 months, you know. So come on, man, like just stop.
Right, because
like stop, but bust out for a good match, for a good big match, but not every fucking week. Come on, man, they gotta stop.
Yeah, because on the documentary with Keith, which I you already said you watched, right?
Yeah, I watched that. Mm-hmm.
Like he indicated that Vince actually likes him. Like, you know, Vince told him, you know, go out there and be a star. You know, the indication was given that Vince actually likes Keith, and you know, this was, you know, even at the Survivor Series from last year when, you know, Keith, you know, had that nice, you know thing with Roman. I'm fine with that, you know, because I'm starting to get on that old school vibe of like, you know, big guys need to work like big guys.
Yeah, me too. I'm with that too. I'm tired of seeing everybody doing the topes and shit like that. That's getting really old and very tiresome, especially when it's happening in every match. That's why I'm starting to kind of appreciate guys like FTR and you know what I'm saying, like guys that can actually do the mat work instead of flying and flopping all over the place, because it's quite annoying.
So, but I mean, I'm not really opposed to the idea of Keith getting a little bit more training to learn a different style and to less is more. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you know, I'll give you a story. Like when Randy Orton first came in on the main roster, he was doing a lot of that, you know, flippy, you know, cruiserweight shit. Like he was doing, you know, dives. He was which is funny to think about that now when he had that Twitter rant about indie guys.
Dives.
Dive. I read that and I laughed. I just picture like anytime I read the part of dive, I just hear Randy going dive. But anyways, yeah, he was doing dives. He was doing, you know, drop kicks. He was doing all this high flying shit and
crossbodies.
Yeah, and Arn Anderson told him, dude, you don't need to do that. You know, leave that to Rey Mysterio. Leave that to Eddie Guerrero. Leave that to, you know all the cruiserweights. You don't need to do that. You know, you're a big guy. You know, work like a big guy. Work like a star. Do more mat wrestling. And he, you know, Randy Orton admitted that he ignored him and said, "Yeah, what does the old guy know?" And then not too long after that, Randy ended up, you know, tearing his shoulder, or his shoulder or his elbow, one of those two. And that's when he realized, I need to tone it down a little bit. So for a guy like Keith Lee, especially a guy like Dijakovic, who's not Dijakovic, was it T-Bar? T-Bag. And then other big guys, it's just like, work like big guys. Like, just go out there and work like a big guy, be an ass kicker.
Which, you know what, Keith Lee and Dijakovic, T-Bag, T-Bar, whatever you want to call them, like those guys, they do have power moves in their arsenal, but it's just that they have to have the dives in there too, you know? They just do the shit. Remember when Keith Lee and Dijakovic had one of their matches on NXT?
Right.
And Dijakovic went for a Spanish fly.
Right.
And instead, he didn't do it. He flipped off the top rope and landed on his 2 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that could have been a torn ACL easily, and 6 to 10 months off your career. Like, don't do that again, please. Don't do it again.
Yeah, like, just case in point, we're fine with them going back to training and learning to work like big guys. That's what me and RJ are agreeing on, is that, yeah, like if the point is they're getting retrained to work like big guys and do less, you know, flips, we're fine with that.
I'm cool with that, because not everybody needs to be doing that.
Yeah. So
and look, and here's the thing, though.
Right.
It shows you that Vince cares, right? Because if Vince didn't care, he'd be like, fuck it, fire that fuck asses, or just get him out of my sight, or he won't use them on TV.
Right.
It lets you know that, and we know he's got some sort of an investment in Otis. For God's sakes, he gave him the money in the bank. So, of course, like, he sees something in these guys, evidently. And when Big Show finally hangs it up, you know, Taker's already gone. when Kane finally, hangs it up for good, who's he going to have left besides Braun Strowman to kind of lead that charge of the big giants? So he's going to need the guys like Dabba-Kato and Keith Lee and Dijakovic or Teabag, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's going to need those and Mace to kind of carry that load. So I got no problems with it.
All right, so we got about 16 minutes until we're off the air. So yeah, what do you mean? So Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. I mean, obviously Drew. I think Drew's going to more than likely.
Yeah, I think Drew's going to retain, but I would not hold out. The Miz cashing in, especially what you said about the ratings.
I mean,
I don't know.
It'd be an interesting thing to turn on Raw just to see it, but I mean, I doubt Miz is going to move the needle. But I don't know. But
same. I don't think he's going to move the needle either.
We're not going to know what happens those Sundays. So.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, those are our TLC predictions. Go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Well, as everybody may or may not know, I do my own podcast, RJ and the Savage Squad Show. And to anybody out there, because I'm searching for new guests and stuff like that, and I'm talking with a few people and lining some stuff up. And hopefully we can get started sometime after the New Year, because the holidays is very, very hectic. So I would want to get started after the New Year's. But for anybody who might be interested in having a conversation and being on the podcast, hit me up and we'll talk and we'll make something happen. So that's an open invitation to everybody, especially into your chat. Just hit me up and we'll talk. We can talk about whatever you want, just, as long as it's respectful and toes the line. I'm not trying to get banned off the airway before I get started, really. So, yeah. And I do reviews for any of you all that might be in the chat that might be a fan of MLW. I've done a couple of MLW reviews the last couple of weeks since it's been back. So if you're interested in those, check those out. Let me know what you guys think about the shows and everything like that. And that's it.
Right. I'm gonna write you off the after we get off the air about something I want to run something by you. But yeah, man. Appreciate you for coming on.
Wait, for sure. Always a pleasure.
45 minutes. Always a pleasure, dude. Yeah, I'll make sure to post the links for your shows in the chat room after we're done.
Okay. And by the way, I will be doing a review for MLW tomorrow. So if anybody's interested, that'll be out tomorrow. So probably sometime around 7 o'clock, 8-ish. Depends on how early I get done with work and stuff like that and able to put it together. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that if anybody's interested.
Yeah, man. Yeah, look out for that. It's on Spotify.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere you can get podcast at.
Okay, yeah.
Castbox, all these other different links. I mean, it's all over the place. You can't miss me.
We need more RJ. We need more RJ, damn it.
More RJ content.
more RJ now. Stat.
Oh, man. It's too great.
Again, appreciate you being on. I'm going to write you afterwards. But yeah, man, again, it's always a blast having you on.
Definitely.
Yeah, take care, my
brother. As long as you continue to have me, it's all good, man.
Yeah, it's like somebody wrote me. It's like, I like the shows with Kevin on and also RJ. We need more RJ. Like those are literally his words. Like more RJ.
All right. Like I said, hey, as long as you have me, you guys have me in the chat, I'll be around. We'll do it.
It's like, I gotta give the people what they want.
Exactly, man. That's how you keep things going.
Absolutely, man. All right, man. Take care. I'm gonna write you afterwards.
All right. Thank you. Peace.
Peace. All right, so let's see, 2 hours and 47 minutes. I have enough time to do shout-outs. Shout-outs to, of course, Wrestling Soup, Mish and Joey, support their Patreon. And they're doing a show tomorrow, as usual, on Thursdays. And then shout-outs to Kevin Castle and Trez. Make sure to support the DTKC patron. There's going to be a Dark Chronicles show tomorrow, minus Trez. Mish is going to be on it. Mish will be playing the role of Trez. And also shout out to anyone living in the New York area, like I mentioned, Kevin Castle, John Draper, Trez, Julian from Wrestling Court, Rob. Shout out to anyone living in that area. Please stay safe. I know there's a big snowstorm coming. Especially with Kev. Kev, as you know, Kev is very much into taking care of cats. Taking care of stray cats in his area. So, hopefully him and the kids are safe. So just send your well wishes, Kev. Also, well wishes to John Krauser. I announced a while back that he actually has COVID. So, John Krauser, he's a good dude. So send him your well wishes. Shout out to Breaking the Apocalypse with John and B Show, Brian and Shaheen. I believe they'll have a new episode coming out tomorrow, Friday. And then Wrestling Court, I already mentioned. Texas Podcast Massacre. RJ, of course. RJ and his 3,000 shows. RJ and the Savage Squad show, which he just said you can hear it everywhere. I have him on Spotify. And also his show with brother Monty. Monty's a good dude. I'm trying to do something with Monty. So hopefully, in the new year when my schedule opens up, I'm able to do more shows. Let's see. Who else am I missing? That's pretty much everybody. Shout out to everybody who has a podcast. And I appreciate everyone showing up tonight for the show. I'll be back next week with a TLC post, well, not a post show, but a review show, and pretty much anything that comes up. So, anyways, take care, guys. I'll upload the show as fast as I can. So, take care. Peace.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.